Mm-hmm. Oh.
Hello. How's it going, everybody? It's Sunday. Tonight's episode, or this afternoon's episode, brought to you by ETA Nick, or it's going out to ETA Nick. He just had his 8-year anniversary. I was watching a video yesterday, so I called this one Sunday Comics Sharing Circle because he did a little mini tirade, a rant against sharing. You're not sharing comics. You're not. Blah, blah, and he just went crazy. So I had to call this that in honor of ETA Nick. And as usual, Rasa is with me. Hello, how are you?
Cheers to you all.
I've just got water.
Well, it's evening in where I am, so I'm allowed to have this. This is
rosé.
This is a rosé I'm enjoying. So thank you. Anyway,
I was gonna make myself a drink, but we didn't have any mix, and I just didn't really know what I wanted, and I don't really want to, I was contemplating just having some tequila straight, but it isn't even 3 p.m. here, so maybe that's not the best idea to start my afternoon drinking tequila.
Yeah, tequila is not very good for very long conversation, especially down the shots.
Yeah.
Believe me, I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. You have your expertise.
Yeah. My expertise is long.
It's well known. It's world renowned, is what I hear.
Well, renowned maybe where I am.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Hilarious.
Yeah, but it's great. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So yeah, it's Sunday, and we're here.
It is Sunday. Yeah.
And
I read absolutely nothing this week, but I do have a couple of comics to talk about eventually. But what I was going to talk about in a bit too, like we'll see what you want to talk about, like comics wise. But this week was a week of games for me today, so there was a couple that I just wanted to chat about, and then and because I'm clever like that, there's one called 1812: The Invasion of Canada that I was playing, and there's actually Tecumseh as a character in. Not a character, but there's some cards relating to the Indigenous players, and one of them is Tecumseh. So there's Tim Truman's, and I'm also ordering a game, or I ordered it already, a magazine game called I Will Fight No More Forever, and one of the characters in that game is Simon Gertie. Yeah, Simon Gertie is one of the characters in that game that's coming. So I've pulled out some Truman books because what I'd like to do is kind of read, as I'm going, because I've never been a history buff. History has been something that I was really poor in school, like really, really bad. I just didn't really have the interest. As I get older, I find I'm getting a little more interested in it, and especially when it's a little more relatable and a little more easy to digest. Especially with these games, they really do. I mean, some of them, they're not as good as simulation, but just how they introduce you to that history and the way that they kind of present it. So I figured, playing the game, reading these books back to back might be an idea. So, but we'll talk about that in a bit, I guess. Well, I sort of did already, but there you go.
It was kind of already showed all of it.
Yeah. What did you read this week?
Well, first, let me mention about that gaming of yours. You showed those games, and it you give me the bug I didn't never have, because I just like the look of it. It's the look what attracts me. I don't know about the gameplay, because when you start showing me the booklet, because you have the this is the rules. So like, oh no, no, wait, no. I don't have time for this. Come on.
Yeah.
We like getting used to for having everything so quick. So the time of me reading the rules, which I've never had, especially for board games, I like to kind of make the shit up. But
well, and some of them, like this one that I was playing this week, this one is 32 pages of rules. So it's intense. But the thing is, like, one of the other good things about what's happening these days is because of all of this camera stuff, on Board Game Geek, on YouTube, on the internet, you can find videos of people kind of giving you kind of brief overviews of the instructions. And also there was one guy kind of infamous in the board gaming community, this guy Callendale. He did a series of videos where he plays this game and kind of walks you through the game. So you watch a session. I think it's like 5 hours of videos or something. Obviously, that's, I'm listening to that in the background as I'm working, or I'm watching a half an hour at nighttime or whatever. So it was a full week of just kind of not immersing myself, but because I'm working from home, I could have it set up on the table. I could do some work. I could listen to Callendale talk in the background as I'm typing emails and that sort of thing. Have lunch, go and look at the map, go and play around with some things. And it was actually a really nice way to kind of tackle a game like this. But the other thing that I love about these kind of things, like it's super immersive. You can really get into the story because this one has I won't pull it all out, but there's a whole extra booklet that goes into the history of the star system. It goes into a bit of the history of the rebellion. It goes into the history of the characters. It goes into the history of each of the planets has a creature that's kind of associated with that planet, because sometimes if you're kind of on a planet, you can get attacked by just a creature. So it gives you a brief paragraph about what that creature is, and but then even though the rules are pretty intense, there's still a lot of room to kind of, one of the things that is difficult at times is how to start, because there's not a you start here, you go around the board, and you're eventually going to go to finish. You start somewhere. That where you start is totally up to you within some parameters. Where you go is totally up to you within some parameters. And how you win the game is kind of up to you. There's some parameters, but it's so open that sometimes just beginning the game is a little bit difficult, because I'm just used to a certain style of game growing up, right? So that always takes me a little bit to kind of make that switch in my head. But I think we've talked about it before too. One of the things that I do love about these is that it really does change my brain a bit. Like I can really feel my thinking having to shift, right? I really need to shift because it's just something that's a little more abstract, or you're kind of learning the history of, and then also the gameplay, and it's just super cool. It just kind of exercises your brain, right? Is basically what it does during the week. And then kind of mixed with everything else in your life, you can kind of have this in the background. It's super fun, and I barely scratched the surface when I actually started playing it, but it's really fun. Like it's a really good one. It's one of those games though that I need a table and just have it set up for a full week, because they say to play the game that I was playing, it can take around 20 hours is how long you can stretch it out for. So it's one of those, I need to have a separate gaming room now. So I've talked to my wife. We need a new house. Well, no, we're not, obviously not, but I mean, that's the kind of thing, right? Like where you do really need a space where you can set this up and have it live for a full week and kind of play at it a little bit. It's not a 2 hour or an hour kind of sit down in an afternoon, it takes you like 40 minutes just to set the damn thing up. Right. So
maybe you should just pitch the tent. Now you have a nice flooring in your garden.
Yeah. Yeah,
pitch right. Your tent like an army, you go in, you have your table, you set your strategy, and you go for it.
Yeah, that's right. I can wear like a general's hat, and I can have a camouflage tent.
Dear wifey, I'm off to do some things.
I'm off to war.
Yeah.
Oh, Enigma Vibration, Cuba Libre sitting on the table. That's supposed to be a fantastic game. It's on my wish list on Board Game Geek. It's supposed to be really, really good.
Oh, so what is it, like tabletop gaming as well? I presume.
Yeah,
because
go ahead.
I'm not really familiar with stuff. I mean, I get fascinated by anything like that because it's just, like I like gaming kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like it's just the competitiveness like gives me the edge of wanting to learn. But you guys will make it easy because like, no, I kind of like to look at it, and suddenly I'm on eBay looking for games. Like, why? Well, kind of thing,
Yeah, and I mean, like you said already, sometimes the art and things like and especially with these older games, I personally kind of really get into these older games because of the art, because of the design, like that map in that Freedom of the Galaxy, those photos that I posted. I mean, it's a gorgeous map. And it's another thing. Like I ended up looking at it for a little while going, I can't make heads or tails of this. And as I start reading the rules and watching the videos, it's funny how you can almost feel it come into focus, where then I look at the map and it's like, oh, okay, that completely makes sense. But at first it's just this beautiful kind of abstract, design, right? And then just to kind of go to, I guess we'll just keep going with this. Just to kind of go to this, like games like this, the rule set is a lot slimmer. So it's a lot more easy to get into, and it doesn't take very long. My son and I played it last week, and I think we played for, 45 minutes to an hour kind of thing, probably around there. And it's a bit different. It's newer. So it's the War of 1812, the invasion of Canada, 1812 to 1815. Apparently some of the history some people call it like the Pointless War. The British and the Americans fighting. And I think it might have been near the end of it. Don't quote me on this, because again, my history is shit. this is the battle where the White House got burnt down, I believe, near the end, so around 1815. But again, my history is not top notch whatsoever. But it's super fun because it's it's a block game, so you have these little wooden cubes. So if you're familiar with the game Risk, it's that kind of idea. It's that kind of idea where you have your territories, but instead of moving like battleships, you're just moving troops, colored troops, and you have cards that you draw, and then you battle the other player, and you try to just gain territory. It can go, like I said, we played for about an hour. And of course I can't open it, but it's a beautiful, so I mean, cubes like this, just tiny, different colored wooden cubes. And it's really, really fun. And you get a handful of cards and you draw 3, and they'll get you to do different kind of movements. When you fight, each group has their own colored dice. The bullseye means that you've hit. This one means that your troops have fled the fight. And this one means that you can retreat. You can pull guys back. And it's really, really good. And especially stuff like this with my son, it's kind of, especially now that he's getting older, it's a nice way to introduce some of that history as well. Because a lot of the instruction books in the back, they'll have historical, they'll kind of talk about the history a little bit. And this one specifically goes about 4 or 5 pages where they kind of get into it and talk about the major players. Laura Secord was another woman in this kind of war who warned the British that the Americans were coming. My daughter goes to Laura Secord school, which, again, like I didn't know that until I, because again, my history is shit. So I learn it from a board game, right? And then I start reading about it. So stuff like this is a lot more manageable, and you still get the beautiful game design, and it's still a lot of fun. It's a real blast.
Happy Sunday, Gore Vidal.
Hello, Gore Vidal.
And don't worry, we're still going to talk some comics.
We are, yes. Like I said, all of this ties into this. So that War of 1812, Tecumseh, there's a card about Tecumseh in there. So, I mean, that's my next thing. Because this is still kind of pulled off the shelves, I'll probably end up playing it a couple more times. And I'm going to read this as well, too, and just kind of dig into the history a bit. So, yeah. That was my board game in this week. That's why I didn't really read many comics. I was kind of deep into this stuff. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Thank you very much, Gore Vidal.
Oh, you just need some facts. Talk to Gore.
Exactly.
So I mean, as I say, as far as I went, it's very difficult to introduce board games to my husband, not in a bad way, but it's just like the timing, the spacing, the kid, and that kind of things, like excuses, but it usually makes more mess than the good anyway. But as far as we went to that, I think last year before Christmas, we got into the Risk, but in PlayStation, I had it on Paragon.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
And so we were playing it. I was playing with my husband, not against each other, but against each other and computer. And the most funniest thing was computer was beating the shit out of us. Like, what's going on here? Like AI wasn't so highly rated kind of thing in this game, but we were like completely wiped all the time. It's like, what's going on? It's a tricky thing. And apparently, because I don't know what kind of settings we were playing with. I think we were having quite a few in that moment in our festive season. You drink a little bit more than you usually do. And I think we set the setting to a bit too high for our own understanding what game was. So I was like whooping us, like, what's going on? Like we were like about, like that. Before something really bad happens, you have that nice and feeling where you're, I'm winning. I'm about to gonna kick your butt kind of thing. And suddenly the computer sweeps in and takes every single troop of yours. Like, what happened? Kind of thing, So so that as far as we went for that kind of thing. I always were and will be probably interested in board games, but finding the right crowd, this was never like I never wanted to go into like comic book shops have those Magic in the Gathering stuff. I never went into that kind of thing ever.
No, me neither.
So I'm not gonna be going there. Like sitting next to a 5-year-old, 15-year-old is kind of like I feel too old for that kind of shit because your jokes will be not me who understands it and anything like that. So
Well, and that's kind of why, like, when I was getting into this, there's quite a lot of solo games. Comancheria is a really, really, really phenomenal example of a solo game where the kind of board game AI, the artificial intelligence, is so good that it makes the game incredible to play. Like, I've played it I don't know how many times, and I've also got it on the computer too, so I can play a computerized version as well too, through this program called Vassal. And it is so fantastic. Like, and I think with some of these games, there's the ability, even ones that are 2 players, like Freedom in the Galaxy is supposed to be 2 players. I still played it solo. You can still kind of manipulate it a bit to play it solo. Because again, I'm exactly with you. Like, we went to a gaming convention a couple of years ago. That's the first time I've ever done that. I don't really have a gaming circle. We play games as a family, but some of these style of games, just, they're not into it as much as I am. So I either try to make them solo, or I go specifically to find solo games where I can then kind of, just hang out and just play and just, focus on a game. So those kind of things are out there. They're a little more difficult to find, though.
Gore, I'm not sure. I don't think I know about Adams. I think if I don't know if he's collecting the new stuff yet, because he's been just reading all the things, just caught up with things, but you never know. Hi, Gretzky.
Oh, Mr. Gretzky, how are you? Yeah, Enigma. It's good. The designer also did one before that called, I think it's called Navajo Wars, I think is what it's called. I haven't played that one. It's supposed to be phenomenal as well, but Comancheria is an incredible game. Highly recommended, especially if you're into games there, Enigma.
Whoosh.
Anyway, there you go.
Now we talk comics, okay, guys? Forget about your board games. Take away from that brain of waves of board games. Now it's comics.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And then afterwards we'll touch on sports.
Yeah. Why not? We'll give you the latest news of whatever happened in NBA before NBA.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another circle. So before I start talking, I went into crafts this week. Well, not
you did.
I was at home, but I showed you that. So I made this.
You showed me online.
Yeah, so it has a little string. It's a Christmas
Super
decoration.
Cool.
And I transferred this on the Bassa plywood with a Mod Podge.
Oh, okay.
So it's nice. It has this old look to it. I don't know if you can guys see it really clearly, but I wanted to try something and it worked. So I was like, okay, so I'm genius. Anyway.
It looks super cool. I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah. So, and another one, which I just finished, finish kind of, but I'm not, I don't have.
Oh, sweet.
And this one is Frank Thorne. Well,
that's cool.
This is the Doctor Strange I could marry.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
The look. I will look. I married the look, not the. I don't know what's.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
But But anyway, this it's very beautiful in color, but I found this in black and white.
Black and white is incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I wanted to do it. So I'll just need to make a hole and then basically put it on my tree. And I wanted to put something different. I like to have my Christmas tree decorated with something different than usually. Your decorations, by the way, is splendid. I watched your pictures on Twitter.
Oh yeah,
and they were amazing. I like those kind of things. This year, our Christmas decorations was the most the earliest I've ever done. I usually not the person who does it like 2 months before Christmas, but this time I did it because my son is very excited about all the lights. He is starting to notice that kind of stuff even more. So it's okay, we're gonna decorate it. So you almost took all the bubbles away, but it's a few there left. Like we're shushing him away, but he really wants to just pluck them all away from the tree anyway. So So that's my crafts of the week. Let's say this way.
It's a lot of fun nowadays, like for us doing our tree, because after all these years, we now have a lot of kind of family ornaments, whereas the amount of kind of store-bought ornaments that we used to use early on, we just don't anymore, because we now have kids' photos. We now have stuff that they've made. My mom gave us a bunch of old Christmas ornaments that she had, including some handmade paper stars that my Opa, who's passed away a long time ago now, had made as well too. So we have so many things. And then those glass ones that I was showing, like when we go camping, we usually buy, there's a couple of places out by where we camp in Ontario that have some kind of indigenous made and hand painted glass ornaments. So we end up buying those from there, and they're just gorgeous, where we see the stuff of like the store-bought stuff, and it doesn't make it to the tree very much anymore, because we just have so many things that are just way more meaningful at this point that I've been making popcorn stringers for the past couple of years. I just do one long stringer every year. So now that it's like 3/4 of the tree, I'm going to do another one this year as well. And just kind of these, it's more family kind of tree, which is super, it's just great, and especially going out in the bush and cutting it down. Like, it's just such a fun day.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I mean, it's the twins are posted, and then I said to my husband about your trip to get down the tree. It's like, what? You like movie Christmas vacations? Like, yes. That's exactly what happened. Because he loves that movie. He absolutely loves that movie. It's like, so he wanted
it's a classic one.
Yeah, we always watch it every year. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to put that one anyway. So talking comics, let's do talking comics.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm in this obsessive saga with Invincible still, but I'm drawing to the point of I'm not sure how I feel about it. It went to the area where we have this bad guy. I didn't expect that bad. No, kind of. It was like. It was telling us in the earlier issues. So I'm on issue 116 or 19, something like that.
Holy, yeah.
So it's quite I'm on the verge of about to finish. Actually, I'll tell you. Yeah, more than half. Not like I have more than half left to read of the story. Whatever is on this volume, it comes in volumes in the digital version anyway. So. A lot of things happened once again since I spoke to you last Sunday. Invincible, hello, Damien. Invincible is still a really good comic book. There's a lot of things. Like, I'm kind of very invested now in the characters. I like the way where we're going, but now this new villain, I don't know. It's especially the way what Invincible did with this villain, because at the moment while I'm reading, he's still in power, the villain.
Okay.
And the villain is in power on Earth. So the villain is, I'm not gonna say, maybe it's gonna be quite a major spoilers to people, so I'm not gonna mention. There was a lot of things happening that the same villain is actually who Invincible knows really well. The whole actually people knew, and there was this massacre, literally what he did in order of, remember I used to be talking last week about the one person's idea of what is supposed to be true, like the supposed leaders, and the idea of whatever he has, it doesn't matter whoever people try to say or change his opinion, it doesn't happen because he so strongly believes in his beliefs. So, and there was absolute massacre happening once again. Lots of superheroes has died. Limbs were going away from some people, which was like
crazy.
People giving birth. Who did it? I'm not going to say as well. Spoiler. I don't want to spoil it, but definitely, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
His dad, which I have pictured here, I'm not going to show too much, but his dad is now he's in charge of Viltrumites. I don't remember if I mentioned it.
Don't think so.
I'm not sure, Damien. I mean, I'm not because I'm reading it digitally. Every single time I finish the issue, it does tell me, but I don't know. I never even researched how many issues there is in Invincible, but I think it's more than 150. Let's say this way. I'm presuming.
Yeah.
So he's becoming. He's the chief of Viltrumites. Viltrumites became not the victim anymore, like not the villains anymore, not the victims, villains. They became actually good guys. But there's another things happening brewing where I'm not sure what his dad decisions which he made it's a clever one, but we'll see in the future what I'm going to read. But that villain itself, it really bothers me because it seems to be that Invincible gave away from being who he usually being. He used to be always very like, I'm going to do right. People, if you're wrong, you're wrong. I need to beat you kind of thing. But lots of people who surrounds him telling him not to do that. And I don't understand why that there's that switch. But I don't know. it's still good. I'm still involved in the story, and I'm going to continue to the end. I'm just not now. I'm doubting the end part, kind of thing. Like when you start reading something and you have this feeling in yourself, like what's going to happen, how you're going to finish, because you start to think how you would finish in a way what you're reading. But as I have never seen any spoilers, which is great, by the way, reading that completely with a unspoiled
going
view,
in fresh.
Exactly, unspoiled view of anybody else. It's really good, and it's really entertaining. It's fast paced. It's really quick read, to be honest. Like Damien, for example, because he's been reading books for a while. Like Adam, I think Adam is probably already would finish it like 2-3 weeks or a month ago, like me. But everybody has their own secrets. The way
what issue did you say you're on right now?
116, I think.
116. Okay. When I looked on the CLZ app as you were talking there, I think the last issue I saw was 144. But I mean, the CLZ app might be wrong as well too. But
it doesn't matter.
I doubt it. But I don't know.
I mean, I knew something in that sense of like 40s, 50s, something where they were finished. So so as I say, it's lots of things happening. Characters are really good. Invincible still struggling a lot. He went into that villain confrontation. He went into places where honestly you feel like really sorry for him, kind of thing, as because you started being really invested in the character, and that's what I like about this read in particular. Invincible is always there. It's like a main character, but there's also other people involved, and he's involved. Those people makes it more like like a family member kind of thing. Goes away and does it, and you really worry about him. So kind of in that sense, it feels that way. So I think it's a really good writing. Another point I have in about issue 100 something, they changed the colorist, and that bothered me so much.
Oh, really? Hey.
And I was like thinking, I can't, because digital really shows up the colors and everything. All the shadows, if it's wrong, you can really see it. And then thankfully something happened, and they put another probably colors, because in this format where they read it, they don't tell me exactly who is who, because it's just continuous volume, so kind of thing. They just show you the issue and doesn't tell you who's the artist. I know the artist is the same, Ryan Otley.
Yeah.
But the colors, I don't know the name, so I won't be able to tell you that. But the colors, now it's gorgeous. It's like,
really?
Oh my God. It's like it has this like glow to them, kind of thing, but in the right way, not like overbearing glow, but it's just it seems to be overly perfect, but it in digital especially looks fantastic. It's just
nice,
exactly made for that kind of thing. And I honestly, I keep on, like, it used to be like all about like the way the figures look. Now I'm kind of looking in the colors, how they explore the color, how they put it on the face, why did they put them. And in comparison, actually, I was reading this, and I was reading the Money Shot.
Okay.
I caught up with Money Shot number 9 and number 10, and I think number 10 is the last one so far. I'm not sure if they're going to continue with this in the longest end, but I think they never thought they're going to go as far as like first volume kind of thing, but they end up going to number 10, which is fantastic. I mean, overall, the whole series is hilarious, and it's really good read. So in saying that, so the colors in here bother me, because in one of this issue, they were stranded in an island, and suddenly the colors were too dark. And I think it's because of a printing error, to be honest, because it didn't feel right. Because that in your island and you started by no clouds, it's sunny everywhere, but suddenly they have this like crazy shadows on you. It's like, how, where, who's shadowing your face? Like even I do this kind of thing, like I'm perfectly lit, but I'm not dark. It felt like and the color is and the color is funny enough is the guy who I actually follow on YouTube, Russell, Kurt Michael Russell, and he's explaining color, and the way he's doing the color is really fantastic. So I think this is a great Damien Batman reading. It gets you like really excited about things, kind of thing. Anyway,
I've never read it, so my imagination is maybe getting the better of me.
No kids around, okay? X-rated, X-rated, please.
That's okay. You're on my channel. Show whatever boobies you want to show.
Well, this. Okay, is it this issue? Fuck. Where is not? Oh yeah. Well, this is just the beginning. Okay, you have a chainsaw cock. Which is hilarious. Yeah, it's all beautiful colors. I must say.
Yeah.
So I was very surprised with the color scheme in here. Oh no, it's not.
Yeah, the shading on that Chainsaw Dick was pretty impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. But
Yeah.
then you have the scene in here where you see this scene here and her.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
she's like in proper shadow, and I was like,
Yeah.
she's not that mountain. I mean, she's tall as a horse lady, but yeah. But I'll show you that sex scene. Where is that sex scene now? I can't find it. I'm not lying. I'm telling you, I'm having sex. Oh, there you go.
Rip the pages out.
Yeah. So this scene here, so this alien couple is basically having a thingy, you know, like they do. And you have a proper going in there, and like he's going with his mouth, and then wait, maybe previous one. No, there, you know, like all that stuff, you know, and you're not shying away from that kind of thing.
Yeah.
This comic books is all about that, you know, like how much fun can you have, you know, like, and then another scene here, they basically get orgy sex with aliens in here in the bottom.
Crazy, yeah.
And they're all naked, and then they're just basically having inseminated by this aliens to get powers, because that's how you get powers in money shots. In order to get powers, you have to have sex.
Okay, yeah.
And so this is what the comic book is. Honestly, it's one hilarious thing, but it's definitely not for kids. It looks very like cartoony. You're like, oh, oops, let's give you a bedtime story. Oh, not this one. Definitely not. Because you wouldn't want to know, like, I don't think you have talked about the birds and all that stuff kind of thing. But this last issue was kind of like a part of that orgy scene. Was quite tame. The previous issues were more like involved in sex, like acts and stuff like that. But it's one thing I really like about this is the way they don't take themselves serious.
Yeah.
And it's just happy kind of story. And it's ended, I think, because it says the end in here. But I've been looking everywhere to see if actually they finished with this comic book, but I'm not sure. But anyway, if you have like pick a trade, have a read, have a laugh. It's really actually really, really good. And you can see boobies, and you can see some space dicks and balls, and you know what else your imagination have. And Tim Seeley seems to be having quite a bit of his imagination. So there you go. Say something about the
cool.
runtime.
Yeah.
And also been really catching up with my turtles. So 110 and 111. By the way, in order to save plastic kind of thing usage, I'm doing double backing now.
Yeah. It's funny.
I'm annoyed by, you know, like I really like my comic book just being like this in single thing.
Yeah.
But I notice how much space I save and how much bags I save. So I do this now.
So is space more your thought process with that, or is there more to that?
I'll tell you one thing. I never noticed there is a problem in my comic book when I place them in two like that, rather than me placing them by that, just one.
Yeah.
Because that one's, especially how you stack them, and if you don't do this when you stack them, you have that lip coming out from the side. Which I absolutely hate. I hate that tilt. And so far, how many years I've been collecting, I have some of them. I actually purposely did that kind of investigation of my own. And I see if there's any difference. And to be honest, there's no difference. Nothing happens to your comic book. It actually saves the comic book from the roll spine, as ETA Nick would say. So So I've been catching up with turtles. Absolutely fantastic.
Just to touch on that just for one more second. Because I've been thinking about it lately as well. Like when I get the new comics in and stuff, and I'm bagging and boarding stuff, like there's definitely a part of me these days. I know on Cartoonist Kayfabe they talked about it too, where I think it's Ed Piskor who he doesn't do anything. He just throws all the comics in the boxes just as they are. Because there's been a part of me lately that's like looking at all this plastic that's around me in these boxes, and it's starting to kind of weigh on myself, my subconscious a little bit there, of all this plastic waste that is just continually. But I mean, it's such a part of the hobby for me now. You know what I mean? Like that whole thing becomes part of that ritual of putting it in the bag, like we were talking about last week. You know what I mean? So I was wondering if you were having some similar thoughts, but I know what you mean by that little spine roll thing, though, because I've noticed as I've been going through books and stuff, some of them have it, not a lot of them, because I don't pack the boxes too full. I like to leave a little bit of space in them, so I think that helps a bit. But that spine roll just drives you crazy, right?
You know,
or that little bump or whatever.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not like the biggest part for me is the space saving, because your cardboard is less as well. You put less cardboard in it, and I don't see. I mean, I honestly, especially new comic books, I wouldn't say I would put that in Silver Age comic book because they are much more fragile paper. But the new things you get is definitely, I don't think they have, because the paper we get these days is just such a pristine, sometimes even like cardstock paper. You know, like okay, surely nothing would happen. And or like Damon says, he doesn't put in plastic new comic books, and most of them are fine.
Stacking them is the problem. Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, I tend to, especially now with new comic books, especially, I don't pick that many of them anymore. So I tend to do them like that, and I space shitloads of space. To be honest, I have noticed quite a bit that there's a difference. So you see behind me here, I have my filing cabinet, this gorgeous filing cabinet. Which I stack my new comic books most of the time. And I fit a lot in comic books.
Yeah.
And I honestly, you know, those shelvings that you have, I love those shelvings, but I have a problem when I have to take it out of the comic book box. It always gets stuck, especially if it's very heavy box. And I don't know what you do, because you see that like it's not really flush shelving. Or not mine as well. But anyway, so when you try to pull it out, the bottom is always gets caught, so you have to like really pull it out.
Lay a piece of cardboard in there. That's what I did with all of these. I put cardboard, so then it has something to slide on, brings it up a little bit too, and then you can easily slide it off.
I wanted to ask you about that anyway.
Yeah.
You have the same shelves. I could just ask you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But honestly, I noticed that filing cabinet, I just so much enjoy putting that, because you can open a drawer, you just take it out easily, close the bay behind it. And you remember that a long time ago, I showed you I had this wooden filing cabinet.
Oh yeah.
And you remember you were complaining about yours because yours like this, like what? The bottom dropped or something like that?
It fucked up, but I mean, that was, let me just, say it out loud. That was mainly due to my stupidity, right? Like I fucked it up. But I mean, the thing is, with the weight in that specific type, I didn't reinforce the bottom because it wasn't spaced out properly. Because I'm going to try not to go too deep into this, because I love the filing cabinets thing is what I'm ultimately going to say. I think it's a fantastic way. I'm a part of a group on Facebook, and it's a comic book filing cabinet group. And they talk about the filing cabinets that work the best. They come up with like techniques and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I love that idea, because you can fit a lot, and it is a space saver, and you can fit a shit ton more in some of those filing cabinets. But I think the problem that I had with my wooden one is the bottom of each of the drawers was just too thin of material. But because the filing cabinets weren't deep enough, I couldn't put any thicker material in it anyway, because then I wouldn't have been able to fit the comic books in there, right? So ultimately, that was the big fail for me. And I think, like we've spoken about before, it's the runners that are really, like, those are the key to the equation, right? Like, if you don't have good runners, you're fucked. Then it doesn't matter what you do, right? Because books are heavy. They're so goddamn heavy. They're not, they're not personnel files, right?
So that filing cabinet, wooden filing cabinet I was showing long ago, how I basically keep my comic books. I still have it. Works really, really, really well.
Yeah.
Everything is okay. I mean, there's sometimes, if I have to be mindful as well, because I tend to I get so excited, start stacking so many comic books. And I notice if I overdo it because of the weight ratio sometimes and those runners, the one thing I notice, if you open it, the drawer, and you hear like something, and then it's like, okay, time to remove couple. But I honestly can fit definitely in one. So I split them, the shelving in two. And one side can definitely fit a short box.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not certain, because I didn't calculate. I'm not that organized, let's say. I'm not going to say any other word, because you can say. But I'm not that organized to calculate how many I can fit. But I definitely fit quite a lot. And I kind of fed up with my comic book boxes, to be honest. I'm really not happy with them. My ideal situation would be to have them filing cabinets as a solution of storage. But, not always things happens when you want it. So
Yeah,
I have two, which I'm happy with, but and the way it looks is so much more organized, and it's a way, and I as I say, I really enjoy that. And that's why I basically started doing this, to see if that was going to make a difference, for putting more comic books inside rather than weight, because the cardboard does weigh quite a lot. And especially if you have so many comic books, like 140, it weighs a ton sometimes. Especially if like you're not like spring chicken every single time. You can just not lift. I used to see Ghost Critic with these long boxes. I was like, how the hell? Like I never even attempted in my comic collecting to buy a long box, because I know it fits a lot. But just thinking about it makes me sick.
The best thing I ever did was moving away from long boxes and going short boxes.
Yeah.
Like I had long boxes when I started, I'm so glad that I came to my senses, because long boxes are ridiculous. Well, for me personally, they're ridiculous to shift around, and it's just insane.
Yeah. Well, if you have space, especially like the Adam did, he's shelving those comic boxes. Yes, if you have those like organized shelving specifically made for your comic boxes, definitely I would suggest for everybody to do that, because of course it's safer for your comic books and stuff like that. But
his space is so sharp, Like,
whoosh. I mean, the man is is very invested in his comic collecting, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
And
yeah,
I'm
absolutely
jealous about that, because seeing that wall it's mesmerizing me, to be honest. Because like, imagine just going in there, sit down, just slush one box out, and you're like, oh shit, what do you have? And kind of thing. Because I bet like whatever he collects, lots of things, and there's lots of treasures inside there. So
I'm sure it is. Just to have, as long as it's not the X-Men section, just have that down at one end, and then let me at it.
Hey, X-Men is still okay in my books.
Yeah, I know.
I would be happy. You can shush me that side, and you can shush yourself to another side, okay? Most of my books are in 2 ceiling high bookshelves. Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
The deep shelves, so, wow. I bet Gore Vidal has them in amazing, like that. Like those...
I was just gonna say,
those movies you watch of people having those libraries of themselves. I imagine Gore Vidal having that kind of stuff.
That's what I imagine as well too.
His haven door into his whatever the library is called.
Yeah.
And it's like the wall after the wall, like just books.
I imagine it's a secret compartment. He has to go and like push in a code, and hanging outside of the door before you walk into the library is a smoking jacket. So he puts that on, and then it slowly, you can hear it as it kind of releases the air, because it's pressurized, of course, to keep everything pristine. And then he walks in, and there's probably a little bit of smoke that comes just for atmosphere. It doesn't really do anything. It's not necessary. It's just there just to kind of make an entrance. Yeah, no, I bet she's got an incredible space.
I'm not a book reader, but my dream always been to have that kind of library, to be honest. I just like the way it looks. I like those the railed ladders. I absolutely love them.
Absolutely, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Those are stellar.
Yeah, imagine having your comic book.
I was just gonna say I should just put one on here. I don't need it, but I'll just put one here that I can slide along and step up one step.
Yeah, it's just the things like that kind of stuff. It's like it's all about the Great Wall of Books kind of thing.
Yeah.
A globe, a table where you sit down, and really nice, comfortable chair. This is what I would like to have. They're very old school, but Jesus, but if I had that.
That's the thing, right? Like having a space that you can enjoy them in, right? Like as much as sometimes I feel a little crammed coming in here, for the most part, I really like it. It's super comfortable in here. Like this chair it's falling apart, but it's super comfortable. It's just such a nice space to sit and read, right? Like it's, and I mean, that's the biggest thing. You just got to have a nice space for yourself. We're out of control is what he's telling us. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's why your imagination flows, and you're like,
prove us wrong is all I got to say, Gore. Prove us wrong.
You buy a house, you buy a library, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be nice, but not. I don't know. I'm not sure if I would be even committing to that kind of stuff. But I definitely would enjoy even to go and visit for somebody who's that crazy to build that kind of stuff. But any kind of movie I watch, like Indiana Jones, and his father's done library stuff. Oh my god, I don't know why. it just attracts me. Like I geek out and I'm like, oh my god, I would like to just be there, sit down and watch, like they roll those maps out and like, oh yeah, that adventure kind of thing. So
totally
in that. So my comic reading, yes, I got just basically caught up with things. I tried, to be honest, reading something. Oh yeah, Seven Secrets. I finished this one. Great, action filled, really fastest read was. I'm not sure how much I enjoyed that, but lots of things happened. So in the overall sense, I was happy. I wasn't overly impressed because of the speedness of the reading. Sometimes you want that. Sometimes, especially if you don't collect that many comic books in your pull list, it's not so great. You wanted to have the content more, but yeah, it's very good. Still secrets going. A lot of fighting scenes. It seems to be a theme which I like in my comic books. Fighting, action, adventure.
Yeah.
That's what I like to read.
Yeah,
it seems to be in my new comic book. And I also read, I don't have it here, which I don't know why, but it's downstairs in the living room. But I started reading a random comic book of Man-Thing. Like,
okay.
I had one of his like those king size issues, I think, or annuals, I think. I don't know. I'm not sure now.
Yeah, king size Man-Thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not really much familiar with Man-Thing. I'm more familiar with Swamp Thing, which basically Marvel's is Man-Thing.
Yeah.
DC's is a Swamp Thing. Almost the same point of the character. I've never been familiar, and I always wanted to kind of look and read into it. So I started reading it, but because it's it's a 1970 something comic book, it was reading slowly, to be honest, because I was really looking into art. I like the way Man-Thing looks, that menacing kind of like it was just like, what is this? It's that tentacle kind of thing in his part of his like face thing. And so I was reading that, and also because it has Howard the Duck.
Yes, that's right.
Feature in there. And then one thing I always never collected, which I wanted to have, is Kiss edition of Howard the Duck thingy.
I had that when I was a kid. I'm glad you brought it up. I had that when I was a kid because I was a huge Kiss fan. Yeah. And it's just one of those that just went away. And yeah. Anyway, sorry, go on.
No. So yeah, I always wanted to, because like knowing, hopefully that's actually true, what they say, it was made with their blood. That's curious.
Yeah.
Really, but that's just gimmicky. If the gimmicky is still kind of appealing to me, but I've never found it, to be honest. It's kind of one of the things where it's like there's available there, but you have to find it. And unfortunately, in my hunting days, which I can say that right now already, because I haven't done it for a while.
Yeah, long time.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of them, which is what drives me absolutely bonkers. And stuff, but those stuff like when you say, oh yeah, later, but then you never do it. So yeah, and I like Howard the Duck in generally. I grew up with that. I grew up with reading Howard the Duck comic books. Apparently, my mom actually corrected me that, saying, yes, you did read comic books when you were little. And so, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I agree, but I don't remember. She's like, I know, I'm your mother. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So apparently I was reading that. So I wanted to read some of the Howard the Duck stuff. I know it went kind of a bit bizarre at the end of the day. They were taking the Howard Duck thing. So I just wanted something I had in my stack, whatever. It appealed to me. The cover was fantastic because in the comic, like when I started reading this Man-Thing thing, which was when I stopped, is because a child got involved. And since I gave birth to a child, it seems to be anything where child gets involved, me gets very emotional. I become almost a crybaby. It's like, oh my God, the child is going to be, because there's this villains of they magic. They were trying to source this demon out of, they have to sacrifice a child in order for this demon to come through.
Okay.
And they steal this lady's baby, basically, whoosh him away, and it's like, I'm going to kill him. And he's like about maybe half year old. So a baby, basically. I was like, oh my God, how dare they? And of course, Man-Thing swoops in and takes away child, which is like, yay!
Yeah.
But in that moment, I was like, oh my God, why are they taking the child away? Kind of like I was like really kind of emotional in that sense. Maybe my hormones working extra for that kind of time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, it was very interesting, and like that kind of, I keep on telling you about having that nostalgic sense to it, where it makes me feel nice reading that stuff. So I haven't finished this, as a king size is really thick comic book anyway, or annual, whatever it was. So, but the cover is really beautiful because it was the Man Thing. With all this like really swooping kind of wavy lines, and he's carrying a woman. And the color had like a purple background and stuff like that, which is one of my favorite things in comic books anyway. So
yeah, the purple stuff. Yeah.
So purple backgrounds and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I was I think that's what I was doing, part of the crafty stuff. So not many readings.
Yeah.
Got distracted by other worldly things in the world around us, unfortunately. But yeah.
Okay.
But that's my thing, I think.
Yeah, and like I said, I didn't read anything, but I did get a couple of things. Let me just resort. So one of the things I picked up yesterday, there's a guy on in one of the comic groups. Oh, wait a sec. Do I have the shirt on? Yes, I do.
Oh,
can you see it? Oh, there you go. The Winnipeg Comic Addicts shirt. For
a second, I thought you were gonna oh, look at my chest.
Yeah. Money shot.
Money shot.
So one guy was selling the showcase, the DC showcase, the Losers.
Ooh, yeah.
So when we came back from picking up the tree, I stopped by his house, and I had checked with him beforehand because I thought that they were the black and white reprints. Sorry, let me do this.
Whoosh.
And thankfully, there we go. Okay, and thankfully they were, which is great. Like I've got all the single issues of the Losers now. I've got everything. I finished it off within the last couple of years, but this is going to be great to sit and read. I was flipping through it yesterday already and just seeing kind of the different artists associated. They do. Oh yeah, I was at the page right there. So they also do the. They also do the front cover as well too, so reproducing that in black and white. So I love this. These are great, these collections. And there you go. So I'm looking forward to digging into this. And what does it run? So it says volume 1, but I thought maybe it had everything.
Yeah.
Let's see what it says here. It includes their first appearance, which was in GI Combat number 138 as well. And it goes all the way to Our Fighting Forces 150, which is September 1974. So like guys like John Severin, there's a Frank Thorne cover. We get some Neil Adams covers. John Severin. Oh, hey, look at that. Actually, it is all. Oh, there's Mike Esposito, Ross Andrew. Yeah, so there's a couple of guys, Ken Barr. But this will be a great thing to flip through. I love the Losers. I think it's a great title, so I'm looking forward to digging into that one. And then on the Facebook Marketplace, somebody was selling a bunch of Underground comic related stuff, so I messaged her, just kind of saying, "Hey, do you have this particular book available? It's this Rebel Visions from Fantagraphics. This is the first printing rather, so the hardcover, and I think that there was a few years later a soft cover version as well too." And I just kind of was asking her, like, are you a fan of Underground comics and blah, 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 just kind of starting a conversation. So it turned out I was going to come down and pick it up. And I said, I just got to stop by the bank. And she said, don't worry about it. I'm going to give it to you. So super, super nice, very nice woman, very friendly. So that was a very nice thing. She's like, nah, I just think it's great that it's going to go to someone who really is going to appreciate it, like get something out of it. So, and I started flipping through this and it looks incredible. Just kind of goes through the history of Underground comics. But it does it in a nice way of like you get tons of art, but you also get kind of like the historical what comics were like when these creators started doing stuff. You're getting some kind of sketches as well as then kind of the final product. But then it also has kind of anecdotes from a lot of the artists as well too, talking about other artists. When I was flipping through, there was talk of Richard Corbin. When Richard Corbin came into the Underground scene, there was a bunch of the Underground artists that weren't crazy about it. They thought that he was going to bring their form of comics down to like this kind of fantasy and barbarian, kind of world, which they weren't crazy about. But there was a couple of the underground guys, like a Jack Jackson, who loved Corbin and kind of really wanted him to contribute, right? So it's super cool. I think this is going to be a great one. I have a couple of underground comics related kind of histories, but I think this one is going to be great. So even seeing things like this, Robert Williams, early paintings from Robert Williams,
nice.
you know, so whose style is so much different than this later in his career, very, very detailed. And and I think there's even later on, there's some early Jay Lynch. I think even later on in the book, there's also some Robert Crumb when he was working at the greeting card company. I think they have some samples of that as well too. So it's super cool and just goes through the whole history, even up until the point of the overabundance. Oh, and speaking of tying in with one of the Grail games that I want is the Dealer McDope drug dealing board game. I've seen it online before, but it usually goes for quite a bit of money, so I haven't got my hands on it yet. But they do have some samples of his Crumb's greeting cards as well. I won't be able to find it, but really, really interesting book, and talks about going to the end of the kind of era when the amount of they were just publishing anything. Some of these small publishers were just publishing anything, trying to cash in on kind of like this underground comics phase. So there was, and a lot of the underground comics fans and stuff, they talk about the same thing. There just seemed to be an oversaturation of just kind of half-assed shitty comics, you know, just to kind of make a buck as they were getting more popular. Yeah, I can't find it, but anyway, it's in there. So that's going to be a fantastic read. I'll probably start flipping through that more this week. And then the last thing that I got this week, there's a YouTube channel that I watch. It's this guy, Chicho is his name. He does a lot of comic related content and things too. He does a lot of things like politics and cooking shows and that sort of thing. But he used to have a publishing company called Mermaid back in the 90s. So he had a video recently where he was on Twitch. You can gain these things called Twitch points. So he had this kind of auction where you could kind of bid your Twitch points to buy some things. Like he had some homemade honeys, that sort of stuff. But he was giving away some of his comics. And one of the moderators on there won some of them, and he gifted them to me, which was really nice of him. So this one anthology called Mortal Coil, and then a 3-issue series, I4NI Beyond, and it's a computer generated early computer graphics comic as well too. So kind of like this 90s, you know, independent Canadian publisher who had to abandon it eventually, but did publish quite a few books at the time. And I really enjoy his Mermaid Press logo there. I think it's pretty great. So those came as well, which is pretty fantastic. I haven't sat and read them. The Mortal Coil one looks pretty great, though. There's 2 stories. I think it's 2 shorter stories in it.
Since I was working for Starbucks, I don't want anything to do with mermaids.
Oh, yeah, really? Yeah. Here you go. There's a sample of the interior there. So it's kind of like that 90s indie style, you know. So very cool. And just, I think it's just great to have, like, it was... Obviously, I've never heard of his label or his publishing company there. I'll show you the second story. This is Eye for an Eye.
Yeah.
So it's that real kind of 80s independent vibe, you know, just kind of mid-90s. I think it was 94, 95. This was published somewhere around there. Yeah, 1994. And then there's the creators themselves.
Yeah.
So super cool. Really nice gift from him. I sent him back a couple of things as well too, as kind of like a thank you, some doubles that I had, you know. So yeah, that's kind of cool. That was my comic week, but other than that, I read nothing. I didn't read anything.
I wanted to, one of the comic books I wanted to get as well was the Yosaki one, Yojimbo, a mini again. They're republishing in singles. But unfortunately, my comic book eye stack was completely trashed.
Oh no.
So he couldn't send it to me. So I kind of miss you. I really, honestly, I surprised myself now even thinking about it, how much I enjoyed reading the earlier stuff. The new comic books which are coming out now is again having the ongoing series. But the older stuff, you were reprinting the 7 issues, and every single issue I was reading, I thoroughly enjoyed it because they were like recolored as well. And I was trying to read. You remember I told you about the app?
Yep.
So basically, this is the app. I'll show you the home screen rather. Oh, this is not. So this is what comes up. The lady with the bra, and it's like on the roll, and there's the choices. So some of them are, of course, most of them are paid comic books, but sometimes they just come out for letting you, and the library is quite vast. A lot of old stuff, something you wouldn't like, Wall-E, Disney. I remember Orchid coming out, or used to have a single issue. So there's lots of things like The Darkness, The Rust, for example. I'm just giving you examples of the comic books. Like Alice in Wonderland, things they have. Lots of manga, of course, because they want to be popular. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which I never got into that. Also, they have some Fawcett comic books in here as well, which is like our master comic books. Like, I'll show you. Well, you have to subscribe to it, but yes.
So do they give you free issues every once in a while too? Like, is there some
like
that they'll just offer you?
Like this, like for example, you have master comic books, so you can read it, some of this, but you have to or you have to pay for it. So you subscribe to the subscription part of it. But sometimes they give you free comic books to read. And I was talking about Usagi Yojimbo because I need to find it first. And Usagi originally came out in black and white because I've been spoiled by this coming out. So this is the first volume of it.
Okay.
And beautiful art, don't get me wrong. But I really enjoy the, I guess, color in Usagi Yojimbo. Oh, Jesus, there's so many. No, that's the first page. So it's black and white.
Oh, yeah, cool.
See. So you can read it through. This whole volume is available to read, the first volume, I presume. So yeah, I kind of wanted to in color. And I remember Damien was talking about Usagi Yojimbo, and he's saying that he actually kind of enjoy reading the old like newer stuff, I think, than the older stuff now, because what's coming out. So I'm kind of in the difference of like, maybe I want the color, because I remember reading the story in color and I really enjoyed the way what they did, like recolored versions. But anyway,
so it's not the story itself, it was just the fact that it was color was what worked for you. Hey, interesting. Okay.
So anyway, but I really enjoyed what I've read. It's just it's easy to read, you know what you're gonna get, kind of thing. Your expectations never can be going overboard, kind of thing. You just it's simple in a way, but really good storytelling, great art and action scene, and it's very good at it. So there's the next thing I was thinking to read, but I unfortunately didn't have enough time to do so. But so this app is actually so it tells you, so it lets you watch the first volume, and then in order to read the volume 2, you have to have the premium subscription to this. But as I say, sometimes you can just find something to read, like just the first volume to grab hold of, like I think BP RD is available as well in here. Oh, it's not. It used to be available. So they have this maybe licenses they're getting from the like
that probably only lasts.
So I guess it doesn't last as long. But this app is actually really great. And this is
so when you get the subscription, then you also have to, so you pay for the subscription, I'm assuming, like yearly or whatever. And then do you also have to pay for the issues then? So then individually? Okay.
No, I think you just have the subscription as far as I know. But this is the Dark Horse library. They have Hellboy in here. So you type in read, and and you can see the destruction first too. Well, it's always available for the first issue. So I guess it's a really good app for just trying things out. So, like if people are really afraid. And do you remember this one? Oh, give me a second. Hey, you gave me a copy.
Oh yeah, Axe Cop. Yeah, of course. Yeah. It's so great. That's classic. So classic.
So I can read that for the first issue of that. So something.
My son loved that book, and especially because when we were reading it, he was about the age of like a little bit younger than the kid who was writing it. Like, just I just remember getting such a kick out of that story with him. He was loving it.
And also, what I just found now, which I never read, unfortunately, is Witchfinder, the first volume. You can read it for free.
Yeah.
So nice. This app is called Graphite. So anybody who has a tablet and don't download the app.
So it's a new app? Is that the thing? Like it's
not new. It's been a while, but not many people know. So that's the logo on the top. If you can see Graphite.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, if you have something like this. Also, by the way, I wanted to mention, because I haven't read Cerebus, but I started Cerebus reading just because I saw Gore Vidal's talking about it, and I just remind. I started reading it, and I actually enjoyed it. Cerebus.
Yeah.
I read the first 2 stories of free, and I was like surprised that he actually is a pig, because I never thought about, even though I know a snout and all that stuff, but he mentioned like hog, and it's like, oh yeah, it does look like it's like duh.
Yeah,
look at the picture, you see it, no kind of thing.
Yeah.
And Gore Vidal was asking me last time what I was thinking about. I started reading it. I actually didn't mind it, but like my mind is everywhere at the moment. I'm kind of very scattered with my reading. Sometimes I do read everything, whatever I want, and it's there a place for me to see. I always put it in the living room, of course, in safe space, so my kid doesn't reach. Because he likes reading books now, like he opens it and rips the page. That's his favorite thing to do. Yeah. Anyway, so I have it there, and I read a couple of stories, and so far it has magic, which I like in the stories like that. The art is really good. Well, good for what it was in that time. It's like, and apparently he's getting better afterwards. So, and the stories is entertaining. It's like he has this task to do. It's like almost like your gym boy in a way. Like he goes, he meets some people. He says to you, okay, I want the stack of gold. Come and help me, because like you're the hog. And the way he defeats the magician, clever, simple, clever way. And it's like, oh yeah, satisfaction. That kind of thing after reading. Yeah, it's nothing overly complicated in that stuff. So far, what I've read, I'm into it, to be honest.
Yeah.
And good character. He has those like. I'm still trying to get used to, because unfortunately, because of the language jokes, and when you learn a new language, even though I've been talking this language for years now, but to understand a joke from people is kind of difficult. I mean, I'm still getting in there, but there are some ways of telling the sentence, and sometimes I don't get it, and I don't laugh at the same time, and I ask my husband, and then my husband explains to me, it's like, oh yeah, it's funny actually, kind of thing. It happened a couple of times, so I'm getting used to the writing as well, so I understand the fun part of it. But it's so as I say, it's like the adventure part, like I'm like whatever adventure part is, I'm into, because it's easy to read and not overcomplicate my brain for no reason. I like my brain to be stimulated, don't get me wrong, but when you're busy throughout your stuff, especially doing whatever you're doing, it's nice to read something non-complicated. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
It gives you just that, like it lets you forget about things. So, but I know you haven't read any.
I haven't read any Cerebus, no, and it's something that I always want to rectify, and the odd time that I do see, because what I end up seeing, especially lately, is I've seen a lot of single issues pop up, but I don't want to get the single issues because so then it's exactly. There's so many of them. I'm fighting with space as it is. What I would love to get is those phone book editions, but I don't see those very often. And the odd time that I do, it's at like a mini comic convention when I'm surrounded and I've already got a stack of stuff, and it's just one of those things that's always like, maybe I'll get it next time, and I just haven't yet. But I do really, again, as a Canadian, I feel like I should be, out of all the comics I should be reading that damn book, so.
You're not citizen enough then.
Shame. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, they're going to kick me out. They're going to force me to go to the States. Gore, we'll be able to trade. I'll go to your place, you come up here. Gore is talking about that he was reading, going between Lone Wolf and Cub and Usagi Yojimbo, and Lone Wolf and Cub alternates between drama and tragedy with each story. I remember years ago when I read some Lone Wolf and Cub. I didn't read a ton of it, but I remember really enjoying it though.
No, I don't know. I just thought I don't understand. I don't know why it's so appealing to me, Yojimbo, but I guess I know
Yeah.
why, because I like turtles.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a kind of, in a way, sense is, samurais always have that myth, and like you just wanted to understand what's all about samurai and how strict they kind of is, they rules and stuff.
Yeah.
And then that Ronin part and stuff like that has always been appealing to me. So I guess that's why. And I have a couple of issues of Lone Wolf and the Cub, but being me, it's like, oh, I don't want to start from the middle of the things, even though it's probably one story in the comic book. But I'm like, oh, I want to have everything from the beginning.
Yeah.
Kind of bullshit. But that happens in my brain, like a lot of people does that. It kind of is intimidating to go somewhere in the middle of nowhere because you don't know anything about it yet and dive in. With the turtles, because I guess I started collecting when they were already coming out in issues. I wasn't afraid to go into it because I knew turtles already. So because from animations. So for me, it was I started reading the recent turtles I talked to you about. I started collecting them. Now it's 111. I have from issue 30. I started it, so I wasn't afraid to just go in. But since that 30 issue, I couldn't stop because I just love it so much.
Yeah, I think with Lone Wolf you can do the same thing. I mean, because it's coming from a long history of kind of like these, these Ronin and these samurai kind of movies and writing, and I'm pretty sure you can start anywhere. There's sort of an arc throughout it. Well, not sort of. There's an arc throughout it, like you're following characters through, but you can kind of jump in anywhere. And every time we end up talking about Lone Wolf and Cub, it also reminds me I've got this box set, Zatoichi, The Blind Swordsman, which I still haven't watched all of the movies, however many there were, 30, 25. I can't remember exactly how many. But it's the same kind of thing. Like, you can start wherever. You'll start to get to know the character, and then you can jump back and catch up, bounce around.
It says the Howler Mouse is saying is Cerebus.
Yeah, Howler Mouse loves Cerebus.
Yeah.
And then Enigma is saying, I'm halfway through. It's taken 30 years, and I love Lone Wolf and Cub. And that's the other thing, too. I think some of those kind of stories, because they're these long serials, you can kind of dip your toes in here and there and then take a year off and then grab. Yeah, and these are the ones, like, when I think of Lone Wolf and Cub, the other thing that ends up always kind of annoying me is the small format. Even for the bigger collected editions, they still have the small format. And I've never come across the first comics issues. I've never seen those out there. Even when I do find like a ton of first comics stuff, I never see Lone Wolf and Cub.
Yeah, it's not easy to get hold of it as well in here, I don't think either. I mean, it depends where you're looking, I guess, and your luck as well. But talking about those, like, I was looking online to see if I can find any of those mysteries, because you got me quite a nice stack of mysteries, which I'm very thankful for, by the way. These days, it's like, kind of thing.
But you didn't finish. You still haven't finished it, though. That's the thing, I'm guessing, right?
No, I haven't finished it, but because the reason I decided, like, I need to find more. It's an excuse, okay? I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
But but lately I was looking online to see. But bloody bastards, every single time there's an offer for mystery, is all the issues I have. Like,
really? Hey?
It's very difficult apparently to get hold of the last issue of mystery.
It took me a long time to get a hold of the last one. It was one of those that I ended up having to spend a couple more dollars more than I was comfortable with, but I had to get it just to complete it, right? Because it's got the record in it. It's got a ton of pinups in it from a bunch of different artists, and so it's a great issue. But it took me a while to get my hands on it. It didn't come up very often.
Yeah, and then there is this dealer in here. It's called Silver Acre.
Okay.
He's well known for having shitloads of like high-end issues, but he usually has all sort of stuff. But unfortunately, he has this website which is appalling to use. And he has a couple of the mystery issues, but it's just like couple, like dangling like between like where I need, like and they're not overpriced, which is another thing. Which is most of the issues I seen on mystery.
Yeah,
£5 per issue. It's like,
oh wow.
Yeah. That's what
crazy, man.
I mean, online. Don't get me wrong. Unfortunately, I'm not covered by the comic book shops everywhere in every corner.
Yeah.
Which is saddest thing ever. Choosing next time if I move, I'm probably choosing the area where the comic book shop is nearby.
Yeah, like down the block.
Yeah, like Damien. Oh, I went to this shop and then I went to this shop. It's like, oh, damn you, like you have a choice.
On his walk home, You'll have to send me a list of which ones you're missing, because I do see them. I still see them around every once in a while.
Issues, I think you gave me from 19 onwards. I'm missing.
Oh, okay, from 19 onwards. Okay.
I mean,
just remind me on Twitter, because I'll keep my eyes open. Not that I'm going out to I should, whatever. It's not like we're going out anywhere. I mean, I don't see anything these days, but when I do go to, like, even the past few times I've gone to the mini conventions, I do end up seeing them, some single issues. So
hello,
I still do see them out there. Hello.
Yeah. So I was looking and I got excited. There was the one post it had that one guy was selling mystery. I had 2 issues I needed, but then there's like 5 of them I don't. It's like,
oh, I lost your audio. Can you still hear me? Uh-oh.
Oh, you there?
Oh, I can hear you.
There.
Yeah,
guys,
there you
are
go.
We still there?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Parents.
Hello, can you hear me?
There?
I'm here.
I'm here. You guys can see us? Oh. So is it mine? Oh. I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can?
Now.
Yeah, okay, good.
Was it me or you? You disappeared first.
I'm not really sure. Yeah, you're totally frozen. Your image is frozen, but I can hear you. There you go. Now it's kickstarted again. Very strange.
Keep on disappearing. I'm not sure.
Can you hear me still, Rasa?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna kick you out and then just rejoin. Hello, everybody. Can you still? I'm assuming I'm still here. That's very strange. That hasn't happened before. Just give us one more minute here, and then I'll see if she pops back in. I missed your live stream today there, Chaos. I saw that you did a brief kind of 15-minute, and I think I saw your son on your lap at one point, which is pretty great. I always love it when people's kids make appearances in videos. Here she is here.
So, did you kick me out? Because I don't think I have any internet issues. Hello?
Yep.
You can hear me?
Absolutely. Can hear and see you.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Anyway.
So sorry, what you were talking about, Miss Tree.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the last thing you were saying.
I think I was there saying that I saw some guy posting on eBay some couple of issues. I needed it, but then 5 of them I didn't need it, so I didn't bet on it.
Yeah.
So that's kind
right,
of thing.
Yes. That's out of reach.
Mm-hmm.
There is also, you should keep your eyes out. They did do collected editions as well too.
The quarterly issues that go without mentioning.
And the quarterly, those are from DC. They did a 12-issue series. I had started reading those. I hadn't finished. I have them all. I just haven't finished reading them yet. Those ones might be here, actually. Just going to pop out these headphones for 1 sec.
Yeah.
And move Wonder Woman.
Oh, Wonder
here you go. So these ones. This is how close they are, because I need to read them. So DC did the 12 issues, and same creator, same writer, same artist. I think I read the first 2, and they were good. I mean, it's one of those things that you feel like the heyday of the character was definitely that first kind of chunk,
Okay, yeah.
I'm sure that after a while, the people that were hardcore fans were super excited to see her back, and I'm sure they're going to be great stories. I just haven't sat and read the 12 issues yet.
Yeah.
But, even just sitting here flipping through it, it's like, oh, man, I got to dig into these again.
Yeah.
She's just such an amazing character.
I have one issue of Quarterly. I think number 1 from DC. I picked up, I remember, because when you were talking about the mystery, I was looking for it in that time.
Yeah.
And definitely couldn't find anywhere locally, whatever I went for. It's just sometimes those bizarre comic books, not bizarre comic books, but those lower printing, or I've never had luck when I went somewhere to look for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely I like the character a lot, as I say. Because of the technical part and all that, like we were talking about Velvet, she's another one, like kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's my cup of tea. So and as I say, I've been trying to look for it. I always have. I never forget, kind of thing. There's a couple of things, and like on eBay, you can save whatever you're looking for.
Yeah.
And they keep them, like you can look for whatever pops up. So I have her there, but it's very disappointing every single time I browse, because most of the things is in US. And I had this weak moment. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to that my comic book shop website, and of course they have shitloads. They don't have the last issue, but the pricing is like $3, $5, $4, because it depends on of course the condition of a comic book.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh yeah, let's do it. And like I started like, oh, add to the to the bin. But I was like, oh, how much are you gonna charge me for the shipping? Which is the one thing, especially this time of the year, first. And also we're talking about COVID. We already having some postal delays because of the holiday season. So anyway, I've never committed. I cowered out. I was chicken shit.
Yeah. Well, but I think especially when you're going to buy from online, right? Like you want to get it where you can get a chunk of them. Like you don't want to just keep buying them one issue at a time.
Exactly.
Then it's going to kick your ass on the shipping, right? But honestly, keep your eyes out for the collections, because I think there was 2 or 3. I don't know if the entire early run got put into like a trade run or not. I don't remember. I only have the first volume in the trade, so it's kind of the Eclipse Comics ones. But it continued after that. That might help you anyway. Get one book and get a bunch of different issues. Because it is well worth. I mean, it just gets better. You know what I mean? Like near the end, there's some kind of dud issues here and there that didn't kind of work as well. But the lead up to the end, is still really, really great. I mean, she just gets nastier as it goes on. It's a hell of a read.
Another thing is that the covers are looking great as well. My God,
so good. Yeah.
I was just looking like, oh, that looks beautiful.
Yeah.
And that one is like, and there's one of the skull is really memorable kind of thing, which is like, and I like the colors. As I say, it definitely has a really nice feeling, that comic book. So
yeah, it totally does.
So
Chaos is mentioning the appearance of his son is why his stream was short. And I saw Mask of the Phantasm in the theater when it came out. I loved, like, I'm a huge Batman animated fan, as I've talked about before. That show is one of the best animated shows I think I've ever seen. And when Mask of the Phantasm came out, like, I was there opening week. Me and my girlfriend at the time went, and I just completely loved it to see basically an episode, because, you get this idea it's going to be grander and all this. It's like, nah, it's pretty much just an episode on a big screen, but that's not a complaint. I thought it was phenomenal. It's such a good movie.
So you're talking about the original Batman?
Yeah, the Batman animated. Yeah.
I love that series.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, I could watch it like all the time. It's like just like it can be just background music kind of thing, but my attention will always go back, because I just like the way it looks, feels, and the voices, and they gave. Yeah. So what
did you get into Batman Beyond as well? Did you watch that series?
No.
Oh man, you should check it out.
I mean,
because eventually Bruce Wayne is back in it. It's the same voice actor. They bring in some of the characters. I mean, they just continue it. And I would say that Batman Beyond there's episodes there that are just as good as the Batman animated stuff. It's a really incredible series as well. And Darwin Cook is responsible for the kind of opening credits scene. He was the guy there, and I'm not sure if he worked on some of the episodes too or not. I don't remember off the top of my head, but really, really solid series as well. I'm sure you can find it online, like on YouTube. I'm sure there's episodes. It's well worth checking out.
Yeah, I watched a couple of 2, 3 maybe episodes of it.
Okay, yeah.
Because the Batman is aged and cranky, and he's like really worn, and then he has his castle, and the guy's like, "Come on, dude!" Like, they let me in. Like, no.
Yeah.
And that remind me, like, oh yeah, that cranky Batman.
Yeah.
Which is, I've never read Batman Dark Knight Returns, that famous copies. Like, I always wanted it in singles.
Yeah.
That the famous cover of the Flashlight.
Yep.
And that's the one I really wanted, but so pricey. So I never read it because of that stupid thing. But I guess I could pick the trade anytime I feel like, even like in the library.
The trade is out there.
Yeah, because it's so popular, the story, but I've never read it. Yeah. Now talking about Batman, like, just remind me of that. Even though
the other thing talking about Batman, did you see? I started watching it, the cartoonist Kayfabe, which we haven't talked about in a long time around here.
Exactly.
I still watch it, but they did and I think I've still got. I meant to pull them out before I hesitate to say this out loud. I got rid of a lot of my Batman comics in the past year or so, but I did save a bunch of them because I did a huge thinning out, right? But I did save them, and I think I still have the Batman Black and White that I did have a couple of the issues. I never had the whole run, but watching that video again and seeing them talk about and seeing that art and all the creators that they had on that run, man, it gets me wanting to pick up the issues again because it's stellar. It's just really stellar. I don't know if you've read any of those at all, but so many great artists associated with that black and white run.
Give me a moment.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Where is it? Where are you? Where are you?
What are you saying here, Chaos? Chaos is saying, seemed like it expected you to know the film. Hopefully it doesn't in future years. Oh, so you're saying that they brought the Phantasm back to the Batman universe. What the fuck? And then Gore is saying, really enjoyed it, Chaos. I don't know anything about the Phantasm. I've heard of him and the animated movie, but that's as much as I know. So yeah, he was coming back. Oh my God, that doesn't sound good. Are you alive? Did you get hurt? Are you all right?
No, I am fine.
Okay, good. That was quite a crash that we just heard.
Yeah, it because I have a microphone, it sounds extra special effects.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
But one of the picture frames just went down.
Oh, shitty.
You know, you have bookshelves, but not only you need to have books, but you have to have picture frames, of course.
Yeah.
So I have.
Oh, hey, there you go.
Collected
Hold on
one.
Sec. Oh, you do? Okay.
But this is like a volume 4.
Yeah.
So you have Neil Adams, Albuquerque Raphael, Lee Allred, John Arcudi, Lee Bermejo, Ivan Brandon, Dave Bullock, Richard Buccelli, Blair Butler, Cliff Chang, Malk Cho, Becky Cloonan, Paul Dini, Keith Griffin, Raphael Grandpa, Ryan Hughes, Adam Hughes, Victor Ibanez, and the story continues. Yeah, it's like crazy. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, the video that they did today is over an hour long. I'm guessing, I don't know if they go through all of the volumes. They're starting right from the beginning, but I imagine they're going to go through all of them. That looks amazing.
That looks like animated series almost.
It really does, yeah.
And
who's the artist on that one?
Give me a second, I'll tell you. Riccardo Burcelli.
Okay, yeah.
And Mark Wolfman, which is cool. And you see, Namtab.
Yeah.
That's looking great.
Super cool, yeah.
Then you have...
If you can find the Raphael Grandpa, I'd love to see that. I didn't know that he did a Batman Black and White.
Lee Bermejo. Looks crazy. Wow. Look at the Batman. Oh, and Joker as well.
Super cool.
Oh, look, this is stunning. Whoosh. Who's this? Yeah. David Bullock.
Uh-huh.
It's a bit too realistic for me, but it's actually not bad fight scenes.
Wow.
Nice. Okay, I need to find out Raphael.
They were talking like in the video today because I think Bruce Timm did an issue as well too, or a story.
Alex Nino.
Oh, cool! Wow.
I look great, eh? Looks like almost a Darwin Cook feel to it.
Yeah.
That looks dark. Look at that. Look.
I love the panel-less borders. It's so great.
Yeah, looks great. Oh, actually,
yeah, that does look great.
I'm probably gonna have to read this.
Yeah.
I just need. Okay, there's this synopsis. The thingy. Okay, driven. Where are you?
So Ed was talking about Bruce Timm and his style of doing the art and how he kind of does all the pencils and then goes over everything in Sharpie and then traces over that. And he's like, his kind of commentary on it was, for a style that seems so kind of simplistic or whatever, the amount of kind of the amount of times he goes over the art is pretty amazing.
The thing is, it's funny. So this book, this trade has a page number, a content page, yeah?
Yeah.
So it says Raphael and Grandpa, 62, but in each page
numbers.
Nope.
Yeah, hilarious. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Just gotta count.
Oh, shush.
Yeah, from 1.
Oh.
And I'll just say random numbers as you're trying to count.
I really want to see it now because
27.
I really
32.
want to see him. His art, because I really like his art as well. Because I like his Batman a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He has those like crazy lines.
Yeah.
I can't. Jesus.
Was Mesmo Delivery something that I had sent you in the past? Because that was one of his stories as well too. Raphael Grandpa.
I don't think so. But I don't know. It doesn't.
Have a look for that one online because that one's really, really great. That was the first time I saw his art.
There's a lot of art, actually. The ones I'm flipping through, I'm really enjoying. Oh, Big Becky Cloonans is actually really interesting to see her super kind of not her art style. Batman. There's probably early age stuff of hers, but really nice looking panels. David Taylor is like me. Sorry. Oh, this is Adam Hughes. Sometimes you know what? I'm not great. I don't. It's not something I'm really into.
Mm-hmm.
It's too. I don't know. Sometimes his art is not such amazing. And this one, please be Grandpa. No, Dave Johnson. Dave Johnson has all those lists. He's always used the dotted things for the shadowing. That thingy what Cartoonist Faye Baby went to that shop. Do you remember in Japan?
Yeah,
He went for the shopping things, and I can't find them.
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
Oh, look at that. Neil Adams. Not bad pencils, to be honest. It's like pencil, not even inked. But I like his
cool.
I like his faces.
Mm-hmm.
If it's done not like lately, not so much because he's aging and you can actually really feel it.
Okay.
Because maybe I keep on finding Alex Nino, which is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
But, I found him. Yes, I did. Oh, look at that! I'm lucky.
Ben-Day dots. Thank you, Chaos. Yeah.
Like that.
Cool.
Oh, looking great. It's called In the Circle, into the circle. The story. Look at this Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Scary.
Okay, so maybe I have seen panels of it then. Yeah.
There's his Batman, which I really like. The cape.
Amazing.
Because the cape is all about what he does.
Yeah, it's so great, man.
As the same, the other artist, what's his name? Famous for the cape and the ears. What's his name?
Kelly Jones had the crazy cape and the long ears. Yeah. Yeah, Kelly Jones gave him the ridiculously long ears on the cowl or whatever.
Yeah, and that's it. That's the basically mini.
Yeah, well, and that's what they were talking about. Just the idea of getting these people in to do kind of 7 or 8 pages, and it's a really great video. Well worth watching. Like I said, I'm only like a half an hour into it, but
maybe I'm wrong with who's written this story. No, it is him. Yeah. No, but this reminds me of the Darwin Cook, especially the Batman.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The way, but it's not him. It says not him. So I guess somebody had the same story kind of to tell, like the art style, which is actually quite understandable. Yeah, very nice. I guess I had one too. I mean, that's the thing. I have collections of stuff sometimes. I forget what I do.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So yeah. It's nice find. I guess I can scroll through. It's one issue like storylines. But yeah. Oh, look at that. A cover art at the back. Joker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I do enjoy Batman. I'm not sure about Batman now these days anymore, to be honest. Because of the Steranko. Look, Steranko's Batman. Looks very much like it looks like very much like Jesus, to be honest, with that thing on top of his head. Yeah. Don't know why. I just first thing what I thought. Stupid. Anyway, And yeah, this I think is the statue, isn't it? They come out the statues, don't they?
Oh, or yes, they do come out with black and white statues. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So yeah, there you go, black and white,
cool.
volume 4.
What year were those from? That volume?
I'll tell you. Give me a sec. Volume 4. Michael Silvestri. Okay, there you go. 2014.
Oh wow. Okay.
Quite a long time ago, actually. But as I say, a lot of people involved in here. But yeah. It's really cool to scroll, and it's like a couple of you know what, Adam Hughes, I like his art, but he's Catwoman. You know that he has very famous covers and very expensive issues of his because of the cover artist Adam Hughes, and his Catwoman is actually really sexy, to be honest.
Yeah.
And some of the Catwoman here.
Yeah, I'm picturing. I think it just showed up on my Twitter feed the other day.
Yeah.
Some Adam Hughes stuff. That guy Aaron something or other, that comic collector, posts a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Yes, he covers the Catwoman's that volume. I think volume 3 of Catwoman's, which I have some of it because Darwin Cook was involved in it. By the way, he and that's why I started collecting. But I like Catwoman generally. I told you that a long time ago as well.
Yeah.
But those covers because of Adam Hughes is very pricey.
Really, crazy.
Yeah, but it's really nice to look at. To be honest,
they're beautiful to look at. Yeah.
The actress, I think it just definitely reminds me of her. Hepburn. I forgot her name. She's dead now. Yeah, Audrey Hepburn. Yeah. So I think sometimes in some like angles, she looks very familiar to her. Kind of the Catwoman he's drawing, just like the way the angle's picked, kind of thing. The younger Hepburn, of course, not older.
Yeah.
So I have Paulo Costa. I have an excuse. I was eating delicious sushi.
That's a pretty good excuse. Yeah, eating delicious sushi is a good excuse.
Yeah, I like good sushi.
We're having my favorite meal tonight, liver. So I'm excited for that.
Ooh, how made?
So I soak it in milk overnight, like at least for 24 hours. This one's been longer. And then tonight I'm just going to do like eggs and then put in a little bit of flour just to and then just fry it up, you know.
Yeah.
I haven't had liver in a while.
Do you mince it?
No, just as is. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know why you put in the milk.
To help filter it a little bit. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it depends. Sometimes I like the flavor. Like sometimes I won't put it in milk and, or just put it in for a lot shorter. Like if I buy it during the day and have it for dinner, but we haven't eaten liver in a long time. Last time I thought I bought liver, but I was rushing to get in the store and getting out. And I didn't look closely because in our grocery store, they have liver and then kidneys right above it. And I bought the kidneys instead, which I had never tried before. And we tried them and they were okay. I prefer liver though. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Milo Manara, Catwoman, yeah.
So no, I like liver stuff. Like my mom usually made it like you fried, but she minced it and make them in a patties kind of thing.
Ah, that's interesting. I've never tried that.
You should, because if you like burger, that sounds like something similar to that. Yeah. I had burger for dinner, so I'm okay.
That's not bad. There's nothing wrong with a good burger.
Yeah. Be the dirtiest Catwoman. Ooh.
Yeah, if Manara drew it, yeah, for sure.
I think it's. I like the Darwin Cook's representation of Catwoman. Yeah. Always the way she looks at it, like that skinny, not overly skinny though. She has curves and stuff like that. But I just like the way he drew. I watched your video of those 6 comic books, which I never would be able to do because I have singles, not trade collected. Like Earl Grey did it, and then you did it, the video, and I was watching you, so like, oh yeah, Darwin Cook. Yes, of course.
It's got to happen. Yeah.
Of course.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And again, like, that's
the
it
lady.
Right there. Like, forget about it. It's fantastic. He's the greatest.
Yeah, I like the way he drew Wonder Woman in that series. She's much taller.
It's so great. Yeah.
So nice. It's like, of course you have to be. You're Amazonian. You're overpowered. You know, like that stuff. Yeah. I heard the new DC Wonder Woman will kill Superman or something like that.
Oh, really? Hey, yeah.
Yeah, we're going back to
that old gimmick again. Hey.
Yeah, we're going back to that like almost New 52 kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But Swamp Thing, actually, we're coming up with Swamp Thing comic, which I am probably gonna maybe look at it for first look, what people say, of course.
Yeah.
But you know, like when they mention Swamp Thing, it's like always Bernie. It's in my mind all the time. Mm-hmm. So I have it's like you guys were talking about that video again about those 6 comic books. I would be like a one short box I have of like of more like what and blueberry. It's like I have the short box and the blueberries. Like, so how I'm gonna, you know, like those like, it doesn't work, you know, like when you panic, I probably would just pick a blueberry and run. Because Earl Grey made really good sense. I mean, you rather take your rare stuff because you can't get hold of them so easily, and the other ones you can still get hold of, kind of thing. It makes absolute sense. To be honest, that book, the box I'm talking about, is usually the comic books I was able to get, but the blueberry took the longest. It was a work, you know, like I went for a job to search for blueberry comic books, and I still love it. I absolutely love it, every single one of them. I think it's one of the
thing. It becomes hard to choose, right? And you know, I just thought, like, especially last night watching Earl Grey's, and especially now that he's deciding to show his face and stuff, which is always a little, after someone hasn't done it for so long, all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, you're a person. Wow, you didn't match anything like I thought. Your voice sounded like, and you know, but it's just always an interesting thing. Sometimes those threads, I remember many years ago when there was so many more of us here doing these kind of videos, like these threads would go around every once in a while. And I just remember them being really fun, like Travis doing one early on when I was doing videos about like your favorite comic book covers, and people would just kind of contribute. And I like that kind of thing. I think it's a fun little thing to do. Yeah,
but the thing is, I wouldn't be able to do 6 comic books. That's like in single issue. It's 6 comic books in single issues. So then all my blueberries, not even all my blueberry I have, I can't put them in 6 categories.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't. Yeah. But I like seeing what people think that what they would like to take. Yeah. Because it gives you a different perspective to some, you know, like you show whatever you read, but sometimes you forget because, you know, like at the end of the day, you have a long history of posting videos and you just forget what people usually tend to read or like more.
Yeah.
So it's actually really cool to watch, especially, you know, like. Totally. He has such a wide variety of taste of reading, especially Earl Grey's, and what he picked is like Jesus, and it's like there's no blueberries in there.
Yeah.
Or Mobius. I mean, the Mobius stuff.
Yeah.
Because you know, we were talking about those artist editions.
Yep.
But do they have Mobius artist edition ever printed?
Who knows? I mean,
how? Why?
I don't. You know, I'd be surprised if there wasn't something like that out there. Or like an artisan edition or something. We need Damien in the chat here. I think he's long gone, but he would know. Because I mean that would be outstanding. I still can't get over missing out on that Wolverton, man. Like, dude, so close.
It hurts, especially if you were going to that person that time, that minute kind of thing. It's just oof. You're gonna remember that. It's the same thing when I was remembering. I'm seeing that giant size X-Men still and exactly I can close my eyes and I know exactly where it was plastered on, and that price tag, and that just
seared in your brain.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna my last, I was like cracking up. It's like my last breath will be, oh damn you, giant size X-Men.
Yeah.
yeah. That's how crazy sometimes my head is.
Yeah.
But those artist editions, so I was looking, I was like in my head thinking which artist I actually would like. So Mobius definitely would be, especially in that blueberry era, or even that era of the Arsakas, really liked the simplicity where he started it off. So I would love to see those panels for sure in a bigger format.
Imagine that, right? Like, dude.
Yeah, but that Barry Windsor-Smith has always made me fascinated by the way he was putting the panels, the easy flowing of looking at the panels. It would be so fantastic. And when Damon was showing me that artist edition of that Conan, the Red, what was it? The Red Devil or something? Or something. The storyline, I was like...
Death or,
something. Anyway, I looked it up, and that seller is in UK.
Yeah,
actually, And I was like, oh no, but it's too much. I just can't. It's too much money for me to just plaster on one thing.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this. There is a. Let's see if that goes through. There we go.
Yeah.
So there is an index. There is a page, aeindex.org, where you can look at all the artist editions. Because I'm streaming, it's taking forever to load, but it gives you stuff that's upcoming. Oh, so even, there's even a page where it shows you upcoming. So Jack Kirby's Fantastic Four Artisan Edition. So they talk about Artisan Editions as well. And they have listings for 2021. John Romita, The Amazing Spider-Man Artisan Edition. EC Covers Artist Edition. Best of Vampirella Magazine Art Edition. Wow. It's... Oh, and then you even go by publisher. So then Dark Horse 2000 AD, Lone Wolf and Cub. Oh, P. Craig Russell. Jesus.
Yeah, P. Craig Russell would be...
website.
Yeah, you should... I think maybe you shouldn't look.
Oh, hey, Hisagi Ojimbo.
Yeah, they are... I know Hisagi... Yeah, I know Hisagi Ojimbo thingies for sure. I have definitely. Speaking of Mobius, this week I saw something funny. The only collaboration between Mobius and Asterix co-creator Rene Goscinny. Okay.
Sorry, I'm just catching up. I was looking on the other page. I'm here now looking. What's Paulo saying?
Speaking of Mobius.
The only collaboration between Mobius and Asterix co-creator. Oh, really? Hey? I didn't even know that they collaborated on something.
Asterix, I love Asterix. Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
It's
fun for sure.
They have those trade paperback version, also like higher format, like bigger format, like the European style. And there's so many of them, but there's one comic book shop in London, unfortunately, who they tend to have lots of like more like underground or something more less like more European stuff, and they always have those albums, and they have like spinner rack, and they have all like sorts of things. You have like European stuff, and which is so nice to look at. It's in London. I haven't been in London for so long now. All the COVID stuff situation, but in generally now they have changed the laws, who enters and how much you have to pay for. Because of the congestion charge, and unfortunately I don't have electric car to be free. So I'm probably not going to go to London for a while. Because it's like, just to enter for me, for example, Terence, just to enter for me without car, it's £40.
Just for you?
Yeah, for the one car to enter London. It's 40 quid.
Wow. $80 just to go into the city, just to have the honor of traveling into the city. Crazy.
I'm talking car now. So Because it used to be not like Sundays used to be for free. Now they changed because of congestion problems in London. Generally, they had it for a long time now. Anyway, so now they the mayor of London is keep on putting charges, because especially central London, but where all the touristy stuff is, because the traffic is crazy in London, generally in city. But I used to go on Sundays for the comic part, but now they put the charge on Sunday as well, which is not that expensive. It's £25 to enter
for Sunday.
For Sunday, used to be for free. To be free. So imagine that. So now we used to be like, oh, you can have a P. Craig Russell drew a beautiful Doctor Strange story.
Yeah, and Marvel Premiere. It makes me want to pull out. I haven't looked at the Marvel Premiere Doctor Strange stuff in a long time.
Which issue? Because it started from free.
Yeah,
the first issue.
Number 3 to 14 is what it went to.
Yeah.
As you can see me shifting stuff here just to get to it. Anyway, I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to, but I'm just you're going to do a dig? Yeah.
No, I'm going to look at it online for sure. Because the minute I see, I like P. Craig Russell art and generally.
Absolutely.
Which one is my feature? Feature.
Hello, G. Mind the Comics. How are you?
Hello, mister.
Hit us with that issue number there.
Yeah. Okay. I don't see it. You have it.
I've got the stack. Yeah.
Oof.
Just let me know what issue number it is, and I'll and we can have a look. Since we have nothing that we've really read.
Yes. Now we're searching internet and
looking at. Yeah. Absolutely.
Marvel.
Nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm. Oh shit. Yeah.
Where's my glasses?
P.
Yeah, so here's all the. This is the stack anyway. It's one of the parts that I completed. They're fun reads, man. These Marvel Premiere ones, and some really killer covers on these ones too. Like that's one of my favorites. Okay. The Lurker in the Labyrinth. Mastodon, how are you?
It doesn't. I went to the Marvel supposedly website, and I typed in the guy, the P. Craig Russell, and it doesn't have anything talking about Doctor Strange whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm sure there was though, but maybe it wasn't in Marvel Premiere then.
I don't know.
Check the old CLZ app, and then I'm gonna have to wind it up. Where are we going here? CLZ.
Marvel. Okay.
Hey, look at this. This is some quality.
Such a good chat. We both look at
exactly. Yeah.
Dead air.
Dead air. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, hello. I don't see.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it, Gore.
Yeah.
I'm seeing lots of Frank Brunner, which is what I thought. Yeah. Oh, no, there we go. Hey, look at that number 7. So penciler in number 7.
Oh, number 7, huh?
Let's have a look. 4, 5, 6, 7, right here.
Almost thought that the cover showing the finger. But it's not.
Yeah.
Almost. Shift one finger.
Almost.
Yeah.
So here we go. So Marvel Premiere featuring Doctor Strange, issue number 7. Oh, king size annual number 1. Yeah. I mean, that I'll have over here too, but that'll be in a different box. So what do we got here? Yeah, there we go. Craig Russell, artist. Good old cameras. Anyway, they don't want to focus, but there you go. It's always different, though. Maybe obviously, maybe not need to be said, but when you're dealing with pencilers and then the inker, especially if it's not him who's inking himself, it's harder to see his style. It's harder to see his voice in those drawings there.
Oh, for sure. It can be very startling.
Oh, a little bit. Yeah. A little bit there in her, though.
Yeah, but it's not the same, like
no, it's totally
imagine
not the same.
Him. Like, yeah, I can picture his art straight away in my eyes, but like
oh man. I love that yellow color there.
Yeah, that's really what nice. old style comic books have, and it seems to be people are afraid these days to do that kind of like bold choice of color.
Yeah. There you go. Oh man, just even flipping through this single issue again. Gonna have to flip through these tonight. Oh, dude, yeah, look at that. That's great.
Okay.
Fucking love Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is amazing.
Yeah. When I remember they announced the guy coming back as a Doctor Strange, at first no, it doesn't look like him, anything like him.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have that bold jawlines feature what you usually see in the comic book.
Yeah. Look at that damn page. That's great.
Oh, look at that. Is that a
so
cat?
Great.
Ish?
Yeah, it's this creature from the previous page.
Nice.
But that's quite the perspective there. I'm digging that.
Yeah. And written by Mark Wolfman, go without saying. Yeah, I like Mark Wolfman's writing in that time.
Yeah.
I do. I want to make really good stories. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, that's great. Oh, there you go. There you go. There's a P. Craig Russell layout right there.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's amazing. So great. Wow. Nice one, Gore. Very good.
Yeah.
That's a good pull there, Gore.
I really want to buy comic books now.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Even when we were talking about it earlier, like I kind of can't wait to go to the mini comic convention again when that starts up. Because I mean, obviously it hasn't happened for a year, but I'm really looking forward to going back and just hunting through boxes and seeing people, and like, yeah, there's something about that, right? Like it's a big part of the hobby.
This is Cumberbatch by
Scotty Young.
Yeah.
Yeah. The infamous Scotty Young. Does his stuff sell for big bucks now too, Scotty Young?
I don't know
all
if
his
it's
baby covers.
Yeah, I don't know, but his art is really popular still.
Yeah.
And now he's writing a lot, so in that sense, it's like when I go to Pinterest, you go to Pinterest sometimes, Jesus. Type in Doctor Strange, there's so many covers, comes out like, oh, I have that one. It's like I'm so pleased.
Yeah.
So like always very pleased. And you see those kind of books as well. Sergeant.
Oh yeah, Sergeant Fury. Yeah. Who was I watching just the other day, flipping through a bunch of Sergeant Fury? Oh, maybe it was Mastodon Comics. It might have been your video today, Mastodon, if you're still here.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at, I've never read any of those Fury books though.
Oh, it's a nice cover.
That's a great one. Yeah.
Yeah. I was I was looking for some other things. Like I get into looking at people. You know why I have this issue. I like Fantastic Four colors in comic books.
Yeah.
Old stuff, especially.
So that's one that Allred did an homage to, but flipped it. Used the same word balloons, used everything. We got it framed actually because I bought the original. I bought that comic and then got it framed beside the Allred version as well too. They look really, really nice together. It looks really great.
I was looking for Doctor Strange stuff and the other day, and I was looking for his first appearance and the price tag.
Yeah.
For like a good, let's say very good.
Okay. Yeah.
It was about how much? $3,500. What?
Peanuts.
Peanuts. One of the covers, which is kind of weird, but I really not weird, but I really enjoy it. It's Neil Adams.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee, which I've never had it, but I remember every single time I see this cover, I remember of ETA Snick video.
Yeah.
I always have, and your those magazines with the females always.
Yeah. The men's magazines. That's amazing.
Yeah.
1964.
Yeah. Like, look at this. How bloody bad is that? I mean, not
amazing.
Bad.
Yeah.
It looks great, kind of, but.
Yeah. No, it's dodgy for sure. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. And always Nazis and always the chick with underwear and on the pole.
Honestly, man, that Nazi exploitation era, like there was a lot of movies too. I've got some bootleg movies, and a lot of them are like these, Nazi themed prison camps. And there's one, I can't remember what the hell it was called, but it's basically like a 70s revenge movie. But it's a group of Jewish people going after people from the Nazi party, basically, and finding them in the streets of New York, I think, and killing them, basically. But this whole kind of darker Nazi exploitation era was just bizarre. I couldn't imagine that kind of thing being done nowadays. Low battery.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Dormammu.
Yeah, my favorite Doctor Strange villain, I think.
Oh yeah, really? Hey.
I think so. I mean,
yeah.
And this is the weird things, but Batman and Moon Knight.
Oh, nice.
So
that's pretty cool.
Moon Knight has gone absolutely bonkers with his first appearance because of the supposed mention of something's happening with it, but not really. And
so it's not actually happening?
No, it will happen, but it takes so much time. But people I love this cover.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
You have Silver Surfer, you have Galactus. What else do you need? And you have that. What is this villain? Mordok, I think.
I'm not sure.
But Jack Kirby, goodness. Oh, so many covers. Like you just go. This is like the thing about Pinterest. Pinterest is like you get in this absolutely. Oh, look at that! How killer is this? Look at that!
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, if you want the inspiration for things like whatever, it's like you just go in Pinterest and just look in each cover.
Yeah.
So many comic book like Master of Kung Fu.
Yeah.
One thing I never.
Yeah, another one that I've never read. Yeah, I've never read any Master Kung Fu.
Yeah. Do you like Moon Knight as a Marvel's character?
I only have a couple of issues, and the couple of issues that I do have that I've read, I do enjoy. Yeah, it feels like one of those characters again that I would easily get into.
Yeah,
but I just haven't read enough of it at this point.
The new one, I read the first volume of the new one by Jeff Lemire, and I enjoyed it. One of the new things I actually enjoyed.
I remember a lot of people saying that when it was coming out, that they were enjoying it.
Page.
That's great.
Yeah. You can see that the hand, is Jack Kirby.
Yeah.
You can see that hand, and that's it. So many.
Or it could be early era Starlin, right? Doesn't he really copy a lot of that stuff?
Yeah, probably. This is some Japanese weird stuff. I don't know what is that, but I just thought it's like hilarious looking. As I say, you can just go into things, like a lot of stuff. This is Steranko we're talking about. That's Steranko, through and through.
Oh yeah, sorry. Did I say Starlin? I meant to say Steranko is what I meant to say.
Yeah, Steranko. This is like.
Yeah, that's great.
I have his Steranko's run of that. Quite a few.
You do, hey?
Yeah, and actually I should show it to you. Show it off again because. It's definitely worth it because it's so beautiful to look at.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful to look at. So this thing has actually happened. Like Marvel and DC has joined together and actually had things posted and they actually came out with the...
Yeah, some like crossover stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Wow. Imagine
and then didn't they do it also with Image as well too? Because isn't there a Batman Spawn or something like that as well?
I don't know.
Maybe I think so.
But no, Spawn definitely. I know Spawn for sure. They went with that. So this is the cover, one of the famous covers of Steranko.
Oh yeah,
I have that. It's really cool to look at. Honestly, very trippy, but it's definitely beautiful to look at. Oh, so many good things.
There really is.
Natties. Definitely is one thing you think of. Comic books.
Pinterest is noted for its Nazi imagery.
Oh, what do you think about Dr. Fate? I only know him from cartoons. I don't really know him in the comic books.
Yeah, same with me. I know a little bit. I think, wasn't it Brendan McCarthy? Did he do a Dr. Fate story? I don't know Dr. Fate very well. No.
Yeah.
But another one that appeals to me for sure. Hey, look what I found.
Hey, go on, show it. Hello. Oh, no.
There it is. Yeah, so I knew I had it in the box while you were talking. So there you go. There's P. Craig Russell.
Yeah, there you go. That's what. That's
100%, right? Yeah. Like there's everything.
Yeah.
Everything you love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this one is staying out of the box for sure.
Yeah, the background as well, though, those clouds and then that figures on the one eye.
Yeah,
definitely him. Yes, for sure.
That's cool. That's a giant issue.
I think I started looking at P. Craig Russell because of Damien.
Oh yeah, really? Hey.
Yeah, because he's always been talking about it, and then you mentioned it as well because you were mentioning from him as well. I think.
Yeah, from like Elric and stuff. That's a bit of a wonky face, though, right there. That's
that's
unusual looking
Inky.
there.
Yeah, that looks like maybe Inca.
Yeah.
Like,
let's see what it says. Yeah.
I moved my brush too far.
Well, no, it says it's co-plot, art, and colors, all P. Craig Russell. There's nobody listed, so
maybe he didn't sleep that well.
Yeah, he had to quickly get it out the door.
Mm-hmm.
They were banging on the door looking for the pages.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this does look beautiful, Gore. Good call.
Very good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
That's beautiful, man.
That's definitely. So you have a lot of, a part of your 169. You have a lot of Doctor Strange, eh?
Well, I've got a shit ton of Doctor Strange. Like 169 really is like of the early stuff. It really is about the only thing that I'm missing for Doctor Strange. Like I've got the Marvel Premiere stuff. I've got all of volume number 2, which is 81 issues. You know, like I've got it, and then I've got a bunch of random various issues. So like, I think there was a couple of what ifs. You know, if he made an appearance somewhere, I tried to pick up those ones. I'm really far on that, obviously. Like, there's a ton of early stuff there, but from that early era, I've got a ton of it. And then it's just kind of putting the dent into the Strange Tales. Because like I've said before, I would love to look at that shit. I would love to get the Strange Tales stuff, you know.
That figure of a female like this, so like you know, that so famous everywhere. I mean,
amazing
as well, everywhere.
Yeah, that's beautiful stuff. That's a beautiful page. Right on, Gore. That's a good one. Yeah, and then what I do is I with some of these, I also mark on the back like when the reading order, so I have them filed away with the reading order, like when they were originally published. So you know, like it says there. After issue 20, you should read this one. Not that it ties in or anything, but you know, it's just like trying to read them in the order of the way they were published. It's you know,
well, that's
that
cool.
kind of stuff. But yeah, that's the cover for that's the one.
Yeah.
Kind of price tag. Oh, a big old $5 price tag on that sucker too. So that was a good deal.
Oh wow, that was good
for an annual number 1. Because sometimes these king size annuals, they're pretty pricey when I see, not from Doctor Strange, just in general. I guess, you know, obviously depends on the character and stuff, but maybe because it's Mr. Russell that it's not catching that much. I don't know what kind of fan base he has within comic investment world, you know.
So, I think you should go and check that website that the guy was talking to you about.
Which website? Sorry.
The guy I talked to you about, the dealer we have, the Silver Acre.
Oh yes, yeah, Silver Acre.
Yeah, I'm looking at the website.
He's got.
Yeah,
it's just silveracre.com. .com.
So he has a Doctor Strange issue number 1. No, 169. You want?
Oh wow.
Yeah. Guess how much is it?
Yeah.
Fine. You like what? Fine condition is good for you?
I just want all the pages honestly, I just want all the pages there. You know what I mean? And I'd prefer that the cover doesn't have a big tear in it or something. But honestly, like with grade, if I can just read it, I can read it. I'm not looking for big ones.
The only thing is with him is like he has lots of the English variants. You know, the
UK variants,
UK variants. So
the Pence stuff,
yeah. But it's actually a really good price, to be honest. For fine miners, it's £114.
£114. So what, like $230 kind of thing? Yeah, that's not horrible. That's not horrible for sure. I mean, because generally when I'm looking for them, like when I've kind of scam through eBay and just kind of look, that's around the price range that I'm looking at, you know, because I always look at, you know, what the price of that slab is going for, and then what can I get if I sell it for that much? What can I get Doctor Strange 169? Because that's basically what's going to drive what I buy. If I get $300 for that slab, then I'm going to spend $300 on the best quality Doctor Strange 169 I can get, right? It's literally, I just want to transfer that money to it, you know. Even if I have to put in an extra $20 to cover the shipping or whatever, that's fine, because I would love to get that.
Yeah, the the annual Spider-Man number 2 is actually quite pricey book in generally because of.
I know the book. I don't have that one though. No.
On eBay, you can buy in here for £50 your Doctor Strange 169. But it's probably
for how much? Sorry, 550.
No, 50.
Oh, 50. Okay.
£50, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and sorry, what grade?
I know why.
Is that a low grade?
Yeah, because it's there's a Byron pen mark on the letters. That's why. Should I just?
Yeah, I mean, for a book like that, because normally I don't care about that kind of stuff, but for that book specifically, I would like something that's a little bit nicer. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be like, you know, 7.0 or anything like that. Even if it's like 4.0, like that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, I'm fine with that, you know. But that one, I do feel like I would invest a little bit of money just to have it. You know, I'd be fine putting in a little extra beyond what that sells for. And again, it all just really depends on that. And right now, I'm riding that out, because when I do talk to Nick about it, every once in a while, I've talked to him about it a couple of times and watched his videos about investment and stuff. You know, it feels like the right time is still waiting. You know, it's just not the right time yet, even though it is getting up there. It's just wait until that official announcement happens and the character's in a movie. Then it's kind of, that's the time to kind of strike, right? Because that's when it's going to spike. So it's just hard sitting and waiting when I sit there and, oh, I could sell this right now. And it's like, you know, and that's where that's where that part of the game doesn't really, you know, that's where the whole part of the collecting just kind of doesn't work for me. You know, it's just like, fuck. I could be actually reading and enjoying stuff instead of worrying about what some stupid comic is going for on eBay. You know what I mean? But like I said, the only reason that I slabbed it was to invest. So I got to play the game for a little bit with that one.
Oh, there you go. That's annual. I'm looking for the annual 2 and see what is this. Because it collects, also reprints Amazing Spider-Man #1, #2.
Oh, yeah.
And #5, which is Dr. Doom's thingy as well. And that's why it's so popular as well.
Yeah.
Well, it's Amazing Spider #1 for inside even those reprints now these days, because it's going with the price. But yeah.
Are they really?
No, yeah, because I mean, I'm not talking about the same prices, like you get the actual Amazing Spider-Man. I'm not talking that, but in generally, all the comic books lately, because I remember the time when I started comic book collecting, and I wasn't sure anything about anything, like pricing and anything, like clueless. But I kind of clearly remember some of the prices, because, you know, like when you look for some certain things, and I look now for the same stuff, and the prices actually, like, you know, like really jumped throughout the time.
Yeah. Crazy. Well, because that was one thing that surprised me, because I've got all those collector's item classics, and I mean the books that the stories they reprint in that, you know, again, it's that idea of, when I remember talking about it in the videos back then too, the idea that it's reprinting these infamous stories. It's from a few years after those stories first came out. So it's on the same quality paper. It's aged pretty much the same way. Not only that, then it's paired with about 2 other kind of classic stories that on their own and their original appearances are going for, like, and I found them for dirt cheap, you know, like most of them for next to nothing, in really, really nice shape. It always puzzled me a little bit, because it would have been like early days of reprinting stories, period, as well as the other thing. It's not something that was happening. So I never really understood. I mean, I'm happy that they didn't go up in price, because it allowed me to get them, but it always surprised me that they weren't harder to find and way more expensive. So,
so like there was, I don't know if you have kept it, but I gave you some of those reprints. So there's like a like a thicker collected editions.
Yeah, they're up on the shelf there.
Yeah, so some of them actually quite like the way when I got them, they were really, really cheap, like for nothing, really, like a couple pounds or something. Now they fetch like 20, 30.
Really? Hey,
yeah. So it's like, you know, but because now the first appearances are so out of reach for some people, like not for some, but for a lot of people. Okay. You have to deal with lots of, like, you have to sell a lot of comic books in order to just collect the amount for, like, let's say, imagine first appearance of Dr. Doom is crazy price.
Yeah, I bet.
I mean, any fan of Spider-Man would go apeshit for it.
Yeah.
If they would get, of course, the deal, because of, you know, like, it's an infamous one of the bad guys. Yes, all the villains of Spider-Man, his first appearances are crazy price anyway. But like those reprints, who reprints it, those first appearances now demands more, because people can't get hold of those. So let's get reprints. Sense. It's the next step you want to do, you know?
Yeah, totally makes sense.
And I was looking at, like, I remember I gave you that thing. I was looking because
I think you gave me 2 of them, if I'm remembering right.
And because they're awesome to read. They're tiny, they're smaller format, but they are like, I think that the ones I gave you was Fantastic Four. I
think so. I think one was called Uncanny Tales, and one I can't remember what the other one was called.
Amazing something might be something amazing or something. But as I say, it's the prices. I said from that time when I was, for example, purchasing those, and like now they go up.
Yeah, I mean, which totally makes sense, but again, it's so hard to keep up with that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's the full-time job. You gotta kind of be checking these things every day, which again, like as much as it pissed me off when Comics America was in town here, I can sort of understand why he had a sign prices subject to change when you bring it up to the cashier. You know what I mean? It's bringing it up to the till. Oh, that one's not worth $5 anymore. It's now worth $55. You know, it's bullshit. It's total bullshit. But I can understand that mentality. I get it because these things kind of change overnight sometimes, you know. But I can't imagine keeping up with that stuff.
Like, for example, you know, like first appearance of the Punisher. Because of the TV show of Netflix came out, his first appearance just skyrocketed. Like went for like a couple of grand or something for some minuscule things, and then people bought one of the annuals of Spider-Man, like number 13 or something. I don't remember the number, because it's the second appearance of Punisher.
Okay,
people start pushing that, and then people were buying it up. Oh, I can get the first one, so I get second, and the price. Book before was nothing for like £5, let's say, in a very good condition. Now it's what, 50, I think. Sometimes people ask for it, so like
well, it's one of those things, like when Ed and Jim talk about it in their videos, is like the smartest man in all of comics is the guy who invented bags and boards. The smartest, most richest person in all of comicdom is the guy who invented that. Like, you've got to just know where to cash in. So, I mean, you know, guys like Nick who are taking it, you know, who are able to take advantage of like these speculator booms, right? Like, you get these speculators in and you've got all those books. It's like, yeah, I'll sell you that for $1,000 that I bought for $5. Yeah, absolutely. Whatever, you know, it's just crazy.
It's a name game, but the thing is, you have to
you got to be quick.
Yeah, but ETA Nick, he does the job all, like he follows it, and he knows where to go, how to do it, when to do it, and that's when it becomes very interesting. That's when it becomes like that excitement bug. Probably you get caught, because you know you do get something for the cheaper, then you sell it. Especially now, like with those CGCs of popularity, when you slap those comic books, the minute your comic book gets slapped, the price is like whoof. Especially your condition of the comic book.
Well, it also like, you know, again, it just solidifies it. I'm a guy, I don't know how to grade a fucking comic book. I've watched Nick's videos and I got something out of them. Like, those were the videos that I first started watching. Captain Cummings actually turned me on to ETA Nick back when he was around and not a fucking nut job. He turned me on to ETA Nick, and those were the first videos that I watched, and I thought they were incredible because he, you know, clearly knows what he's talking about. He was explaining it in a really, like, none of it sticks. I look at books, I couldn't tell you what's an 8.0 and a 7.0. I just, it's not the way my mind works, you know, but it's interesting stuff. It's really, you know, that's part of the hobby that is nice to dip your toes into every once in a while, which is why I still watch his videos every once in a while. I don't watch him as religiously as I used to, but I still tune in every so often.
No, it's interesting. The thing is with him, he likes what he does, like with the comic books, and he shares information. So you take it or leave it at the end of the day. That's how it goes. And there's so much information. That's the thing. You know, you have to really keep up in order to, it's actual becomes like, so for some people, it becomes a job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, nice. So it's so many.
Thank you, Joshua.
Yeah, thank you very much, Joshua Hayes. Grading is a crucial part of making money, for sure. Yeah, but it becomes like, for some people, it becomes a full-time job, which is in a way kind of nice that we, as a comic book collectors, create the jobs for people.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
You know, you can take that for a grain of salt.
Yeah.
You know, we create jobs. You know,
we're creating jobs. If you vote for me, I can guarantee I'll create jobs.
But
well, I mean, and that's also why I went and got it slabbed, because then it just takes the guesswork out of it. I know what it's worth. I don't know what it's worth. I have no idea what it's worth, because that could change on a dime, right? But at least I can go, no, this is a 7.0 with white pages, because it says so right on that fucking label that CGC put out there. You know what I mean? So you can't argue with it. There's no guesswork for me. I take good photos, and then I'm gone. It's gone. You know.
But then another thing is here's another piece you can talk about, those CGCs. Another thing, thank to us. You have to thank us collectors, because we made them to go for doing this shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
We started, I don't know, because it's all the selling online stuff. You never know, because if you start watching, it become kind of, you get into the information what Nick, for example, speaks. Like a little flaw in there, like one page missing. I've never thought before I watched this video, to be honest, about the page count. Damn, if I buy let's say if I try to even attempt to buy first edition, the first thing I do, especially I want to see the comic book, and I fucking start flipping pages, especially those Marvel stamps, because I've seen so many videos of people get really excited about, oh look, I got this fucking amazing book, and it's like, oh fuck, there's no stamp inside.
No, yeah.
And you're like, but money spent, the passion spent, and the face of the person is like, oh my god. Especially some people go absolutely crazy for this stuff.
I caught shit once when I was selling books those few years ago there. I had a box of like literally, I don't know if they were 50 cents or they were dollar books. I don't remember, but they were dirt cheap. And I sold one to a local guy, and he messaged me a couple of days later. Oh, there's a page missing from this one. You didn't look in the pages. I'm like, no, I honestly didn't. Like, I really didn't think so, especially with a box of like 50 cent or $1 books. I was like, I didn't even think of doing that. Like for the bigger books, obviously I would do that. But for those ones, it's like, I never even thought of doing it. But he was pissed. He wanted his $1 back. So, yeah.
Well, look.
Which is totally fine. It doesn't, whatever.
Yeah, but there's some people who, you have your...
Yeah.
You have your nicks, and no matter what kind of cent you spend, it matters to you. So if it matters
100%. 100%. Yeah.
It happens. Like I used to go to those comic book maps, and I get so excited for used to seeing, because I don't think it happens anymore, those 50p boxes.
Yeah.
Damn, those comic books are not in great shape, but you can collect.
Yeah.
Especially those things like collections of the reading matter. So you don't care,
Beat the shit, yeah.
But then when you find out for those 50 pieces, there's something of a key, you're like, oh shit, I have to flip through the pages and see, kind of thing.
Yeah.
If I got, but that excitement of it, for me, sometimes you get the bug of those first appearances, but afterwards you just sit down, just breathe in, breathe out for a couple of minutes, and you're like, okay, just calm down. Yeah. You're not going for a full-time job for doing this kind of shit.
Yeah. But I can see how it's addicting. I mean, I do have a stack of books. Like, I haven't done anything with them, but I've got a small stack of books that if I were to ever get more stuff graded, they're ready to go. You know what I mean? But every time I think of like, because on one of the Facebook groups or a couple of Facebook groups, there's a couple of guys who send stuff, and they'll put the word out to everybody going, hey, I'm doing a CGC submission. Anybody who wants to kind of tack their books on, because obviously it's going to be cheaper to ship for us in Canada, going all the way down to Florida. And they do a mass bulk submission kind of thing, and everybody chips in some money. A couple of the guys, they also offer cleaning and pressing. So they'll do a clean and a press for you as well. And then it'll go get submitted. And that's what happened with this book. The guy did a clean and a press, and I'm sure it knocked it up half a grade or whatever it is, right? Because of that extra bit of work. So I've got that pile there, but every time it comes up, it's like, I'd rather spend the, whatever amount of money on something else. You know what I mean? Like, even if I've got the money, it's like, I'd rather go down to the shop and buy something than get another fucking slab book. But I can see the appeal, because it is pretty exciting, especially when you've put this work into a book.
Yeah.
And you've cleaned it up and you've pressed it, and it comes back a 9.0, and you see these guys posting about it, and they're all thrilled, and they're, money shot in their pants, so to speak, and they're just super excited about what now they have in their hands, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it's if you get passionate about stuff like that, of course, it'll reward you to the point, but you're gonna have to work.
Yeah.
People, that's the thing, don't realize that all you just mentioned, cleaning, pressing, putting through, that takes time, patience, and also find the right people to do that stuff for you.
And also being able to find the deal and identify the deal to begin with, going through all of those bins and pulling out the one comic, maybe out of like 1,000 that that I can do this, this, and this. And I know that I could bump this grade up, and I know that I'm going to be able to afford the CGC submission, because that's going to be whatever it's going to be, $90, maybe $100. I don't really know, depending on what you're going to submit. Because every single era has a different price attached, from what I understand. And then just doing all those calculations and gambling on one book, because then again, because the market changes so fast, it seems to me you put all this time and it's now been a month. Well, now that book ain't worth shit. You know what I mean? Now it's worth $15. It's like, fuck, I just invested $150 into this damn thing, you know? So,
but usually doesn't happen with the older comics.
No, it usually doesn't, but it depends on what you're investing in. Yeah.
The new stuff is the quick buck. You have to be quick to make a quick buck, basically.
Yeah.
Especially
but I mean, I even wonder that though for the older comics, like, because there's not, I mean, you know, I guess this is maybe enter territory that I'm not always keen to talk about, but we're there anyway. So, but I just wonder sometimes about like the reading and these kind of things retaining their value, even the older stuff, you know what I mean? Where it's, yeah, sure, it's worth something now, but that doesn't mean it's going to be worth jack shit in 25 years. You know, these books that are important to us and maybe generations before us, who the hell, you know, my son isn't, you know, my son likes reading and doing all these things, but I don't know, man. I don't know anybody else his age who would give a single shit about it. I might be totally wrong. I'm kind of on the outside of looking in on that world, so to speak. But it just feels like the bottom could fall out of any of this shit. You know what I mean? Like, just because it's worth something now doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's paper. We're putting them in plastic, you know, putting that in plastic slabs. You know what I mean? Like the way the world is turning towards that sort of stuff, right? Where it might just be looked at as like, I can't believe our parents or grandparents' generation even did this kind of shit. This is so ridiculous. What were they thinking? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that that's going to be a fact, but it crosses my mind of like surrounding myself with pulp that at the end of the day, if the house is burning down, I'm just getting the hell out of here. You know, I'm not grabbing anything, just grabbing the kids and get the hell out the front door, you know? So, yeah.
Well, the thing is, it's interesting how like Amazing Spider-Man #1, first appearance of Spider-Man. It's always been there. No matter who you talk to, like let's say you talk to the older gentleman who does videos and stuff like that, they still remember that, you know, sometimes they won as astronomical prices as this now for some comic books, but they still kept the value. Even E.T.A. Nick, who is, you know, like going all crazy about what he loves doing, investing in those comic books and stuff like that. He would say that there's some certain comic books will never, like Wolverine, for God's sake, the first appearance of Wolverine in that whole comic book, 181. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
It's going up. It doesn't stop. It just doesn't creep up. And why? Because now you have a new actor, probably. I think they have a new actor for him. The minute the movie gonna come out, the comic book just up, shoots up.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, even that kind of stuff, though, I just wonder sometimes about, like, you know, again, just because it's going up now, still doesn't mean much. You know, I just, you know, but whatever. I hear you, though. I feel like there are some books that are going to retain their value for sure, you know, because of, and I think the movies really did a resurgence in that kind of thing, right? It's just, I hope we don't see another kind of 90s, you know, like, it just seems like at every turn, sometimes when I do dip my toes back into mainstream, seeing 19 different covers of issue #1 and seeing the kind of, you know, people just kind of speculating, and maybe it was in a Nick video. I don't remember whose video it was, but somebody had talked about a person that they went to high school with. Maybe it was that Aaron guy again, contacting him to ask about a bunch of comics and, hey, you used to read comics. What do you think of this one? And blah, blah, blah. Like looking to dip their toes in it and, you know, play the stock market for a little while. Right. So those are all kind of things that just always kind of signify the death of it. Right. And I mean, you know, ultimately Mind the Comics is exactly right. Like, this is exactly where my head is. It's a hard business. Part-time amateurs should be in it for the fun only. And I mean, ultimately, it's just the fun only, which is always what it comes down to. I just like reading the damn things. The rest of it is just, holy fuck, I couldn't imagine keeping up.
Well, the thing is, maybe we should just, I think there was some Batman first appearance sold in the auction once. And they say, or Batman first appearance or Porsche. Maybe that's how you should advertise the comic books to you younger guys. You know, buy this comic, but maybe one day you're gonna get a Porsche.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Or imagine being, let's say, 18, and dad sells a comic book to buy him a car. What do you think that kid thinks about now? A car, which of course he's gonna be happy at that moment, but then he's like, did he just buy me a car because he sold this flimsy paper book you're talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So in that sense, There's some certain ways probably there is still value to what we have, like those comic books.
Totally.
But, yes, but I do completely agree. It's absolutely hard job to do that. And whoever does it successfully, applaud. You have to, because it's such a hard research, like proper computer, sit down and just work your ass off until you get that reward of like, oh shit, I sold this lab for this and this amount of money.
Yeah. Well, and then, because then what happens to the rest of the collections is, guys like me kick the bucket, and then my wife, who's still alive, goes, the fuck am I going to do with all of these things? And then that's just give me $50 and take these fucking comics out of the basement. Sick and tired, you know what I mean? Like, so it's also one of those things. So, I mean, and that's why I continually try to sell things, because it just feels like, when's a good time to sell off the collection? Well, it's probably always a good time to keep going through. And if I can make some money on some shit, make some money on it. You know what I mean? Just get it out the door, continue to get stuff. And, I just wonder now, like sometimes looking at the shelves and seeing all the weird shit that I've got on them now, it's like, who the hell? I just have an image of someone coming, oh, a comic collection. That's awesome. We're going to go check it out. What the fuck is this? Thorgal, Cowboy, Black Sad, Clyde fans. What the fuck is all this stuff? I can't make any money off of this, Underground comics, those are offensive. We can't sell that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, I didn't actually, I don't think like, I mean, in these days, I think you should think about kicking a bucket, unfortunately. In the sad part of it.
Sorry, I don't want to make it seem like that's all I'm doing down here in the basement, sitting down in my little hovel, looking at the books, thinking about dying.
Yeah, but yeah, true. But you know what, one thing I never, like sometimes I never went, like I try not to ever go to the game of first appearances, but there's one comic book I'm so happy to have. It's Swamp Thing's first appearance.
Yeah,
it's there for me. I'm not selling that shit, no matter whatever happens. I got it. I bought it, and I was like thinking, oh my god, it's way too much. In my heart, because everything for me is way too much, no matter whatever comic. Like, I like to see 50p books, and if I make a deal after that, like, I'm happy. But anyway, so yeah, always wanted this one thing because of Bernie's art, and I really liked it. It's like, it's another thing, like almost the art book for me, but it's an experience and everything. It just sometimes means something. But when I got that book, like always, you think you have a present somebody gives you. You open it up and it just disappears.
Yeah.
Thinking about it, I smile every single time I think about a comic book I got.
Yeah.
So, and that way I get reward. So if I, you should put a bucket in your comic. Yeah, Damien, it's exactly what we should.
And I think this one too, that when he typed this, Aaron Myers is the guy's name, and the whole reason he sells stuff and is to kind of feed his collection, right? Like that's the thing, right? And I mean, that's exactly what it is, like the minor investments and stuff. There's got to be a way, same with the music and stuff that I was selling on Discogs, there's got to be a way for me to be able to buy new records without spending really any of our own money, so to speak, even though it sort of is, because I'm selling stuff off and, but it's a better way to deal with it, can just get rid of stuff and then use that money to buy stuff that's more expensive, and dude, we're going to do a big unslabbing or unboxing or whatever it is when that Doctor Strange comes through the door. Because even if I do end up getting a slabbed one, I'm cracking that sucker. It's coming out of there. So that'll be an epic video at some point.
You should do it outside and just put the fireworks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and again, even it's just one of those books, because that's the book for me too. Like you're saying with Swamp Thing, that's the thing, having that experience of this was not a first appearance, but this was kind of the mark of him kind of going out on his own in his own series and stuff like that. And and again, nothing beats the smell of the damn things, holding them in your hands. Like nothing beats it. It's just, it's ridiculously good. It's ridiculously fun.
And Gore Vidal, yes, I will keep an eye on that. He's talking about Cerebus.
Yeah.
Still. I need to go. I mean, as I say, I enjoyed reading it. I just, my mind, as I say, I'm that kind of person, and I'm always grabbing with everything. To be honest, I'm very scattered when it comes to my attention goes away very quickly to one thing, to another one, to this one, to that, because probably, like just the way I am. But yeah, what I read is I enjoyed it, so I have to definitely go for it. And then thinking about, while we were talking, I'm keep on thinking about, I definitely need to finish reading Velvet, because I want to finish talking about her, because it's well worth talking, and hopefully you'll read as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Oh, absolutely, I will. This week I'll be back to reading. Like, now that those games are kind of dealt with, I'm going to be back to reading. Once the new games come through the door, then we'll see what happens. But just a reminder to you, and then everybody that's watching, next weekend I won't be around. Next weekend my wife is teaching online, so next weekend I'll be incommunicado for videos. Yeah, I know. Thumbs down this video if you like that. Unsubscribe. Click the bell icon. Isn't that what everybody says? Yeah.
Make sure you press all.
Yeah.
YouTube is taking a piss out of people who makes videos, to be honest.
And honestly, I've started thinking about moving to another platform, like, in all seriousness, because of some of the because some of the stuff that's happening, like everybody's video having commercials in is starting to drive me crazy. There's a little bit of like censoring and that sort of thing, which some of it I don't say that I'm not saying that I disagree with it, because some of it I do agree with, but there's some things that are coming down the line for YouTube that I'm not 100% sure if, I'm still really invested in it, because I just have been, and I do think it's a good platform. But I've started thinking lately, in the past couple of weeks, especially, kind of looking into what else is out there. I mean, even Twitch seems to have its bit of limitations. There's this BitChute and stuff, which apparently is okay as well, but I haven't really looked into it in any great deal. It's just that it feels like YouTube is maybe going to a way of, and what they're going to be starting to do with monetizing people's videos, like, that doesn't sit well with me. So, I mean, I can't actually, not that I ever would, but I can't actually monetize my videos because I don't have enough subscribers, et cetera, but then they're going to monetize my videos with advertisements, which I'm not crazy about. The whole joy of YouTube early on was there was no commercials. I'm sick and tired of commercials in my life, right? So it's seeing them on this platform, and then them making some money off of, me and the 20 people that watch the videos. It just doesn't really sit well with me. So I've started thinking about maybe moving to somewhere else, but that'll be a next year thing if that happens.
So where are we going to chat then?
Well, then it'd be just somewhere else. We'd still chat. All of it would still happen. It could still happen, but it would just be somewhere else. It just might not be here. That's all. It would still, none of this would change. It would just be on another. You just have to go to a different website than YouTube. That's it,
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I'll let you know, though. Yeah. Nothing will change for us.
On a serious note, in this sports news, NBA, LeBron James is leaving NBA. Big news.
Oh, geez.
No,
LeBron who? Sorry? NB what?
Sorry,
I'm not a fan of guns. No, sorry. No NBA around here. It's the National Bullet Association or something, isn't it? Yeah.
I still don't understand American football, by the way. So.
Yeah. Don't worry, nobody does.
It doesn't make sense to me to have team of so many players, and then you have attacking team, defending. What? Why don't they do the same job?
Yeah,
like rugby union. You have 50 players. Yeah. You can play with that. Okay.
Oh, rugby league. Got to go rugby league.
No.
Really? Union all the way? Rugby union? Really?
Big time.
Wow. Interesting. Yeah.
By the way, if you like rugby union, sport-wise talking, anyway, nobody's going to listen to this anyway.
Yeah.
Watch Sevens rugby whenever gonna come up. But they used to tour even Canada. You have well, unfortunately, they sacked them now because of COVID.
Yeah.
Canada had Sevens rugby. But you like that you rugby league part. That's basic Sevens rugby is cut. Like in 7 minutes, you have 10 guys. No, wait, 7 guys as well against 7, and have 7 minutes to play one half. It's quick rugby. Like you like your league, and you think it's like fast paced and everything, but it's long time. That
League
one
is
is even
awesome.
faster. That one
Really,
is
eh?
faster, yeah.
Wow.
It's a big thing. Okay. Dallas Cowboys.
I'll check that out.
Surely this is still there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, I've got to go upstairs and make some dinner.
Mind the comics already wants the cult.
Yeah, I think so. And I put that up because I think I'm on board. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
We got to find ourselves a guru or a cult leader, and we'll go for it.
Gus's land in Portugal is beautiful.
Well, there you go.
Let's go to Portugal.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful place. I want to go.
I've never been.
Yeah, I've never been as well, which is a shame. It's like shame on me.
Yeah.
But I managed to go to Spain, but never went to Portugal. So
okay,
shame.
Yeah, I've never been to Spain. I've got relatives, like one of my aunts and uncles live in Spain and have for, I don't know. Nice. I want to say like 8 years or something like that. So, but I've never been to visit, I would, I really should. Yeah.
Anyway, on that note,
everybody. Yeah, we got to say goodbye. I got to eat. So we'll see you in 2 weeks, people. Thank you very much, everybody, for hanging out as usual. We appreciate it. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Like peace and love, some people say.
Right on.